What is going on, everybody? It is episode 272 of Pop Culture Crisis. Happy New Year to all of you. My name is Brett. I'm here with my co-host. Would you introduce yourself, please?
What's up, Crisis Actors? It's Mary. It is the first show of 2023. We're having a ball in the studio. We're clowning around, getting on Brett's last nerve. And we have a special guest here in the studio.
Special? I don't know about that.
Wow, he's mad.
Yeah, I am mad.
Someone's mad.
Introduce yourself, main guest host.
I'm not special. I'm just main. Hey, everyone.
Main guest host.
Dane Font here. Marketing man extraordinaire and the patron saint of White Boy Summer.
And they're getting on me because I had the temerity to say, hey, 2 minutes to air. 1 minute to air. How dare I?
Why does Brett need to explain time to us?
Actual quote that I was told by Dane.
It's just you being the professional that you are, Brett.
And for that, you deserve ridicule and shame, is what you're saying, right?
I wasn't doing it. It's Dane's fault.
That is fair enough.
Don't blame me.
It's true. It's my fault. Well, honestly, it's Brett's fault because we just sit here before the show starts and Brett's like, hey, 3 minutes.
The temerity.
Yeah.
And then a minute passes like, hey, 2 minutes. And like basically like 1 second.
Look,
we're live.
Anybody who's ever seen the movie Wayne's World has seen the scene in Wayne's World where the guy goes 5, 4, 3, and then they go, you didn't say 2 or 1.
Then underpoint.
Yeah, so you do the underpoint, and then he says, you didn't say 2 or 1. He goes, you don't say 2 or 1. They go, why? He goes, you just don't.
You don't say the 3 either.
Do they say the 3 in the movie? I don't remember.
I don't know, but you don't.
Well, either way.
Insider baseball.
You're exposing the business secrets?
That's exactly what's going on here. We got a bunch of stuff to talk about today, and I do, me and Mary were just saying, we feel oddly unprepared, but we got some fun.
It doesn't matter. The topics that we're covering today are really fun.
Yeah, it doesn't require a whole ton of knowledge to know that Jeffree Star's apparently just escaped the clutches
Infamous
of the
yak farmer, by the way. One of our favorite Wyoming residents, aside from Ye.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that part. Yes, maybe they have.
Do you remember the rumor that was spread about? I'm gonna get into it.
Yes, but I imagine them with like farms right next to each other. That'd be cool. Like that's a reality show I would watch. So
of course,
Jeffree Star has just barely escaped the clutches of the Illuminati as he was about to expose Hollywood elites. If that sounds ridiculous, it's because it's kind of ridiculous. So we are going to get into that. We are also going to talk about. Remember my criticisms about the creepy trend about giving people celebrity deaths when people haven't died and then watching their reactions? Well, we've got celebrities dealing with fake celebrity deaths because TikTok is a scourge in our society, ladies and gentlemen. We're also going to talk about the creepiest video I've seen in a good long while, starring Demi Moore, not Demi Moore.
I thought it was Demi because I only know Demi Lovato as a uncultured Gen Z swine.
Demi Moore, in like the 80s, being a very much an adult, very creepily kissing a kid who just turned 15, who was a co-star.
There are a lot of people on Twitter defending this.
I don't know.
We're gonna get into it.
Yeah,
I guess.
I don't know where I fall on this other than it's creepy. We'll get into it. We're also going to say what the hell is up with that costume that Leslie Grace was supposed to be wearing in the Batgirl movie. You wait till you see it, guys. If you imagine like the world's most flattering costume, just something that really hugs the curves in your figure. Now picture the exact opposite of that. That's what we have for this costume. So we got that. We got some stuff at the end. If you guys are ready, we will just get right into it. Mary, are we ready?
We're ready.
Dane, are we ready?
Yes.
All right. So right off the bat, let's get into the hyperbole. It says Jeffree Star says he escaped the Illuminati and was planning to, quote, expose everything until the Hollywood elite tried to ruin his life. I do believe deep in my heart that this is now like the headed off at the pass rallying cry of anyone with something to hide.
I definitely applauded Jeffree Star, though, when he left Hollywood finally and he went to Wyoming to start this new life after multiple attempts at canceling him. And he's now, running his yak farm. He has pink machine guns and he's driving his pink Bugatti all over the state.
Was the original stuff about the racism claims from like 2020?
There's been a lot, and I kind of like I was like obsessed with beauty influencer drama for a long time in high school.
Believe it or not, I was not.
When that was like popping off 2016 to 2018, it was like high octane drama that I followed all the time. I swear. Now I've memory holed most of it.
Yeah.
Like all I remember is that obviously all of these influencers had extremely toxic friend groups and were, again, like professional competitors. And, you know, people try to resurface clips all the time from people's pasts. Jeffree Star got his name from MySpace and being a MySpace artist.
I had never even
That's
heard
awesome.
I had never even heard of him other than.
I'm surprised because
no,
he was
not
very...
now. I'm saying I remember song references to him by the Hollywood Undead.
Yeah.
That was like when I figured out who Jeffree Star was back in like 2006, 2007.
The only thing I'm wondering is, how do you get an invitation to the Illuminati? Is it a letter that you get?
I think that he's using the Illuminati as more of like a nickname for whatever
The Matrix.
The Matrix.
Does
Bohemian Grove.
Does
the Cabal.
Hillary Clinton show
Who
up
is
with a red
they?
drink?
There was a I don't remember who it was. I don't remember if it was Gina Carano. Somebody just posted a meme the other day where they got a friend request on Instagram from the Illuminati.
Nice.
It's just the Illuminati. It's got the little Eye
Like,
of
is
Horus.
it the
Yeah.
Freemasons or is it something much bigger than that?
I bet you they send it by registered mail.
He's-
I bet you they hand deliver you your letter. with
He's
your
using this
invitation.
as like a colloquial phrase to refer to the Hollywood elites who we know exist
Yes.
and have their own social circle, and we talk about them in other terms all the time.
Well, there was that famous piece from George Carlin where he talks about you don't need to have a bunch of people getting together in a room and like around a perpetually burning flame. All of these people go to the same colleges. They all work for the same companies. Like, you don't need to have a big meeting for it to be a conspiracy.
And they work closely with the media so that they really can control someone's reputation, as we've seen happen with Ye.
It's happening with all these articles now. Like, as soon as
Yeah.
somebody goes bad, like you look up Andrew Tate now, and it's just all the articles are not even headlined even remotely like neutral.
I
They're all
remember
bad.
that there was a completely fabricated rumor, I think last year, that, or maybe 2021, that, because 2022 is last year now.
Oh my, dude, I haven't seen you guys
Jeffree
since
Star.
last year.
the rumor was that Jeffree Star was having an affair with Ye when Ye was Kanye and when he was married to Kim. And it was simply because they both were Wyoming residents, and that's literally the only proof that they had, other than, I guess, Jeffree Star publicly hinting that he has had relationships that are secret with rappers and different like artists and celebrities in this world, but he's never named them.
You guys want to start a rumor?
I mean, I love spreading misinformation online.
Let's start
So
one.
if you have any ideas, I'm open to them.
I want to go through these tweets, guys, because these tweets, it's like he went into the I'm gonna court the conspiracy artists like group.
Is it just because Andrew Tate was trending that he decided to say this?
All
No,
of this stuff
I
is
don't
very,
know.
it's all very paint by numbers. So,
He's gonna have
and I'm not
something
even
exposed.
saying that not even if it's not true, but I love the idea because when they were talking about, I originally thought this said that he was going to expose people in 2020, and I'm picturing that somehow Jeffree Star had the goods on Fauci. And he's like,
Yeah.
I've got proof of gain of function research that I got because Fauci's really into makeup. Like, that would have been cool. Like,
Wow.
if he'd found out that Fauci like really loves beauty influencer channels, maybe.
I doubt it's that. I think because Jeffree Star has like rubbed shoulders with A-listers, but hasn't always been one himself, then he probably has a lot of information that we don't. But I don't know if he actually intended to ever expose it. He's still hinting that he's planning on telling people his experiences. But here's his first tweet. He said, "What a crazy effing year. I escaped the Illuminati in 2021 and they still haven't killed me. Every day I wake up grateful. In 2020, I was going to expose everything. In a matter of days, the Hollywood elite tried to ruin my entire career, villainize me, and flooded the news with lies to discredit me. If you guys only knew the truth about what they're doing to Britney and Kanye. Anyone who challenges the system gets eliminated." And then he said, "I still have a soul. Can't say that about a lot of these demons I used to surround myself with."
Apparently not. Apparently, like the Illuminati, they're going soft, man. Because
just let 'em go.
I just keep seeing people
Getting
being like,
away.
I wouldn't off myself, but so, hint, Illuminati. But it's
A lot of people
Nothing
were
seems to
pissed
happen.
that Jeffree mentioned Kanye in the same breath as Britney Spears because obviously Ye has been part of his own undoing.
Yeah.
At least in the public perception of things. And Britney Spears seems to be more of like a victim of circumstance. Even after her conservatorship, it's clear that she's not mentally well. And, her antics on social media give more unhinged and detached from reality than intentionally undoing her own reputation.
There was a thing on TMZ the other day where they caught up with Sam Asghari, her husband, and were like, "Are you controlling her?" And he's like, "Seriously?" Like, I imagine that if he was controlling her, she would be acting more normal, not more weird.
I did wonder, like, who is taking all of these weird videos and pictures of her?
She's I guarantee you she uses
herself.
The
like, she does this on her own. Her son talks about how he doesn't like her posts, and I'm sure if you're married to her, you don't like that.
Look how
she's posting naked on Instagram.
Have you seen how handsome that dude is?
It's suspicious.
There is no way a dude that handsome takes photos that bad.
Yeah, her husband is named Sam Asghari. He's like 28 or something. I always thought he was like a sussy individual.
Look, I don't even care. Like, she's allowed to be as weird, and like, do I think it's good for her kids? No, but
I mean, there was even that news about her miscarriage, and some people were like, "I'm sorry, how do we even know that she was pregnant? Like, maybe this is all like something she's imagined." But anyway, back on topic. Some people also are saying, like, I think they're taking this a little bit too literally and too seriously, because they're like, Jeffree Star just exposed the satanic PDF file elite. This is happening. Like,
files.
And I'm sorry, like, if that were the case, then like, where are the names? Where are the details? Where's the proof of wrongdoing? I'm not seeing it. I'm seeing everything getting teased. But like, again, like, pull up the ladder behind you.
It's a marketing ploy. It's just it's a paint by numbers marketing ploy.
He's gonna have some malfeasance exposed pretty much either tomorrow or the next day. Well, then he's gonna be like, "See, Illuminati."
Because on Friday I did mention Jeffree Star just offhand, and his, he's living his best life, farming and tending to his yaks and all of that. He's kind of stepped out of the public eye compared to where he was before. And now it seems like this is his comeback tweet that is going to get the most eyes on him that he possibly can. And it's working. But then, what's going to be the fruit from this?
If I was being cynical, I would say that being simply gay and androgynous is no longer in right now unless you're trans.
Get out.
So I don't know if it feels like there was Taylor Lorenz said he's an aging beauty influencer who's no longer relevant. And now,
Well, maybe that's a generational difference because, he started his internet career so early on when this world was just not the same way.
He's ancient compared to the average lifespan of an influencer, which is impressive.
Yeah, like, to elaborate on what he was in trouble for, back in his MySpace days, he was saying the absolute craze on social media. And like, Brett, you're right. Like, it was just substantively a different culture. And his explanation for that was like, there were people who were openly homophobic to me in public, and I lashed out in anger and said things equally abhorrent to them. Yeah. And, I'm willing to believe that. But then there are other things that just don't add up, like shady business practices and... there's endless drama that you can go search for yourself.
The wholesome vibe would be if this became about animal testing. That would be very early 2000s. If this was about them testing their makeup on poor.
That's become such a mainstream issue as well.
It's also, this is what I want now. Now is that I'm picturing in the lifelong battle for the soul of America. On the front lines, we have Donald Trump and Jeffree Star. With big American and Andrew Tate, and they're battling.
Who's British?
What is Greta Thunberg gonna do about this? Is Greta Thunberg gonna call up Klaus Schwab again and get him to suspend Jeffree Star on Twitter, because that's how that works?
Well, does Jeffree Star have cows? I know Greta would be against cows because of methane.
Right. So I'm sure she's against the yaks as well. I mentioned this off air, but I'm going to mention it again. I saw this insane Twitter thread recently about this like LGBT rehoming commune farm that was like an alpaca farm. And it seems like the natural outcome of like attempting communism. So like the alpacas just started dying en masse because they were getting neglected, and like all of this drama was happening, and people were like processing their trauma, like, and it like sounds like the most dysfunctional social institution. Of course it would be, because it's called like, Rainbow Ranch or something ridiculous like that. But no, Jeffree Star is just like living his best life, tending to his yaks. I don't know why he even wants to be in the public eye anymore.
Dude, he got invited into the Illuminati and he survived.
But he didn't ever go. I mean, he didn't ever go to Bohemian Grove.
What's the invite?
Criminal enterprises suffer from a lack of skilled labor, just like the rest of us.
Did they just send you via FedEx? Like, hey, there's children's blood.
I'm telling you, like they have a guy bring it to you. Like,
does he go to spirit cooking meetings?
It's cooler if they have it sent by Amazon Prime. Like, you just have to have the right Amazon Prime account. Yeah. You have to buy from the right vendor on Amazon Prime, and like you get it, and like you get there, and the colors are inverted on the Amazon Prime guy's vest.
Someone pretends to be a DoorDash driver.
Yeah,
leaves a paper bag on your porch. Okay,
here's your delivery. Open it in private.
What I found funny about this is that Jeffree Star actually released a makeup collection with YouTuber Shane Dawson. Are either of you familiar with Shane Dawson?
Somebody in the comments earlier said Mary was Team Shane Dawson.
Was I?
Yeah, were you?
Is there proof? No, I'm not. I don't particularly like Shane Dawson, but I did watch his content.
Is he the guy that
sang
a lot?
He made like parody music videos and short films and stuff. But anyway, they were like, he would do conspiracy theory like joke videos, and then he collabed with Jeffree Star to make this big makeup collection called the Conspiracy Collection. And they made this eyeshadow palette that was like inspired by conspiracy theories and, you know, the Illuminati. And they like did imprints on all of the shadows that were like, you know, the Eye of Horus and like all of this stuff. So he basically commodified conspiracy theories, and it just seems like this is part 2 for him. That's know? Like it almost feels like cheapening the idea that there are people conspiring together who are in power to make, you know, hinting tweets like this. And then Brett, I'd like to play this video that Jeffree Star posted on his TikTok as well, where he's like basically saying like, I'm not suicidal, teehee.
I also want to point out that our crisis meter was off, so I think the Illuminati have gotten us too. I had to fix it.
By the way, if you guys get us a crisis party, you'll hear a new sound. We set up a new sound for it.
My favorite part of my job now is making new crisis party sound effects.
Leave your requests for crisis party sound effects in the comments, by the way.
It's a vibe.
Okay, we're going to watch this TikTok.
Good morning, everyone. Hello. How are ya? I just wanted to check in and say hi. Yes, I'm doing great. Everything's amazing.
You look great.
No, I don't plan on being murdered tonight. I sent out some tweets yesterday, and I just wanted to start a conversation. I wanted to see where everyone's head was at. It's 2023 tomorrow, and there has just been so much change in my life over the last 3 years, and I wanted to share a glimpse. I know it's bizarre, maybe a little scary. People may think I'm full of shit. That's okay. The world's fucking insane. And I'm living my peaceful life out here. But there's so many things I hope to share soon. They
never want to share it right now. It's like fortune.
It's always like I think Jeffree Star is QAnon.
It's like fortune tellers. Why don't fortune tellers ever know the lottery numbers?
Guys, is Jeffree Star Q?
Could be. Yeah.
Let us know what you think. I think he's about to drop some mind-blowing information about the elites.
Maybe he's the one who knows whether Trump was a time traveler or not. Like, also, in a world full of Machine Gun Kellys, be a Jeffree Star, I guess.
Andrew Tate is currently getting shipped to Guantanamo Bay.
My first conversation with Tim was us eating Chinese food and him showing me that book about Trump being a time traveler. And he was just messing with me the whole time. He's like, yeah, read about it. I'm like, no.
Someone tweeted, I'm so tired of everyone saying things like this and then not exposing the Hollywood elites for what they truly are. What's the point in saying anything if you're not going to tell the full truth? As fans, we deserve that. Hollywood would be nothing without the public. I totally agree. I think that this is just maybe a cheap attention grab. I'm waiting for more from Jeffree, but like...
Seriously.
From now on every episode, just as we're going off the air, I'm like, tomorrow... on episode 273 of Pop Culture Crisis,
we have the anonymous insider information.
I'm going to expose them. The elites.
Don't.
And Dane's over here like, don't do it. Like, yes, it's guys, if you want us to expose the Hollywood elites, you'll have to tune in.
I'll do it.
Someone also replied, pretty sure Kanye is the one who got himself in the situation he's in, not the Hollywood elites. I think both are true. You know, like they haven't stolen all of his agency, but at the same time, we know that the Harley Pasternak conversation like basically exposed the truth that yes, he was getting manipulated and abused by a so-called personal trainer. That's a thing that happens to a lot of Hollywood.
What was his name?
Influencers.
I always forget his name.
Harley Pasternak.
Pasternak.
You guys are
where he literally says, "I'm going to drug you up and put you back in zombie land."
Yeah.
That's not something a personal trainer says.
I'm just-
There are elements of this that need to be exposed.
And I'm just gonna say it: 10 crisis parties, and I'll expose the Illuminati.
Dana's gonna do it.
I'll do it.
QAnon.
Yeah. Me and Jeffree Star. Have you ever seen us in a room?
But what I'm saying is, like, this
No.
is going to create. This is more of the parallel economy where now he's not just. He's going to be like the conservative beauty influencer, along with that chick from Sephora
And Ollie London.
and Ollie London, and they're going to start their own group.
Amanda Ensing, was that her name?
Is that her name?
I don't remember.
She's
exactly.
like, I like, I like Donald Trump and this, and that, and they're like, you're fired. Like I remember, like they did a PragerU video about her, where it was like their Stories of Us series,
Yeah.
and I was just like, really? I
Where's
guess
the Ulta equivalent? Since Ulta has been clowning.
I can imagine that, like, it's kind of like YA. Of all of the mediums that have been infused with like social justice and just awful leftist culture. And by the way, I'm not saying liberal culture. I'm saying awful leftist culture. Out of all of them, the worst are YA novels and tabletop gaming, which are worse than comics, worse than video games, worse than Hollywood.
Worse in what sense?
Far more vicious, far easier to get people in trouble. Like there's this great story about this lady who wrote a novel. She wrote her book, right? And she got so much backlash for it. She's a I believe she was an Asian American immigrant, right? Her family grew up here, but she's like first generation American. And she wrote a story that involved the Chinese slave trade. And she got backlash for doing a slave story because in America, the only slavery that's ever existed is, the slave trade that existed here. And she got so much backlash. She just canceled herself. She canceled the book because she couldn't put up with people just treating her like she was just some type of subhuman. Like, and that's awful.
But other people in other industries have done the same thing. Like Jenna Marbles, she got in trouble for like so-called brown facing when she made this parody video of Nicki Minaj back in 2009. Literally quit YouTube over it. Like, she's not come back. I doubt she will, because people were that insanely vitriolic towards her over something she did over a decade ago. Like, she is nowhere to be found.
It's funny. I watched a documentary recently on the pro wrestler Triple H, and there's this segment that they did back in the 90s where the members of DX dressed up as the Nation of Domination, and most of them wore blackface because all of the members of the Nation of Domination, which was like The Rock, D'Lo Brown, and all these, and Mark Henry, they all dressed up in blackface except for Triple H, and I'm just waiting for the day. Like, how is it that none of those people get because wrestling's just a different industry. It's not quite as. It's actually pretty infused with like SJW culture now, but like
really,
yeah, oh yeah, like that's like
crazy.
SJWs like 2 years ago just decided they liked wrestling. Like none of them had,
and then they're like, I always liked it. I was always a fan. You weren't.
Did you see the thing I posted earlier about like that Lydia posted? It was like what men need to go into like Lifetime movies. Like, I've always wanted to.
Even that's been ruined.
I've always wanted to make a Lifetime movie and then make it about a big titty girl taking on like fighting a dinosaur in Napoleonic. Like it's incredible.
Even the Lifetime movies and the Hallmark movies have been ruined.
Yeah.
There's nothing untouched by this scourge.
Yeah. So it's just like, but now he will be pushed to the corners of the internet where he'll have to appeal to the right wing audience.
I'm not even fazed by it anymore. I don't know, and I'm kind of scared by it. Like yesterday, I was watching a bunch of speed runs, and one of the so there's commentators on the stream, and one person had pronouns it and its.
That must be satire.
I don't think so, because when you watch the streams for games done quick, the advertisements are for, it's like the trans suicide hotline and for Black Lives Matter. So I think they're about it.
This is just beyond parody at this point. I'm not even engaging with this like level of insanity.
But I mean, it and it's. They
were probably. That's got
thinks
to be
it's an
satirical.
object.
I don't think anyone outside of Tumblr
You can't let it slide. You can't let it slide.
I was asked what my pronouns are once, and I was so offended.
What are they?
It and its.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And I'm going to ban everyone from the chat if they don't use this.
What does it think?
No, but seriously, like who asks a question like that?
People in your generation, not ours.
In person. I was like, I'm a girl.
But yeah, see this guy in chat, Andrew Thornquist. Dane, I saw that too. I was stunned. That was on the Cult of the Lamb speedrun, right? Absolutely. Pronouns.
What do we have here?
What women have done to comics and video games, men should do to Lifetime movies. Be like, all my life I've been a fan of Lifetime movies. Directing one has always been my dream. And then making a movie about a woman with giant tits fighting aliens in Napoleonic Europe. Let's go!
Yeah.
I'm so ready for it. Let's do it.
I'm going to read a few super chats now.
All right.
Clint said, howdy, people.
Howdy.
Hello, and Happy New Year. 1,000 Foot Deep End said, obligatory, I haven't seen y'all since last year, dad joke comment. Welcome back, PCC crew. Welcome back, 1,000 Foot Deep End. Slavky Nikki said, Jeffree looks like a lizard person, IMO.
Maybe that's like they're hiding. He's hiding it. He's putting us off the scent by pretending to be against what he actually is.
By the way,
he's
Brett,
the lizard person.
You're so right. People use millennials similar to how we use boomers. Mm-hmm. It's like thing they don't like.
Yeah. It's just a term that means like anything I don't like anymore.
But it's always Gen Z. Like Gen Z is doing some psyops where they're just blaming us for their stuff.
I mean,
Gen Z is still anti-boomer.
Yeah, well, that's because none of the generations want to take responsibility for their own actions.
Gen Z is anti-themselves.
I'm against mass generalizations, except for those against boomers.
It's the hardest part of this job. Is I don't like generalizing any one person to anything, but you kind of have to do it sometimes.
I mean, try it against boomers. It's a lot of fun.
Every time.
Usually accurate too.
Anytime
we love ageism here.
And here's the thing.
Yes.
Anytime a millennial does it, I get it. Like I'm like, good. Look, I get it. The housing market is disgusting. Like you'll never be able to own your own home. But at the end of the day, does complaining about it, is that so cathartic that it gets you something? I guess I don't know what.
Honestly.
Like it's just like I'm in the same boat you are. I'm just not a whiny little baby.
I mean, but hear me out. Out of all the isms,
and Sean McKenzie says nobody attacks Gen X. That's because Gen X rules.
Gen X, no, it's because Gen X are the irrelevant people of life.
No, Gen X rules.
Are they? Do they rule because they have done nothing of note?
Yes.
Okay.
They're just kind of there.
There you go.
That's what the silent generation was called.
Yeah.
You know?
But the
silent generation part 2.
But do you know why they're called the silent generation?
Why?
Because they don't want to talk about the things they did in war.
Right.
It's actually kind
trauma.
Before
trauma was like completely devoid of all meaning.
Have you seen that meme? Says World War II soldiers watching you play a video game
of the worst day of their life,
reliving their worst moments. Dude, it's crazy. Yeah.
Oh man.
Corey Anderson said, "Shout out to Brett Cooper, girl, you the real one. I want her to be on the show. You guys, please comment and tell her, because we would love her to have her as a guest."
I have to ask her about those baggy blue jeans.
All Gen Z wear baggy jeans and baggy cargo pants.
You not.
I still want chehats.
Well, I don't wear jeans in general. That's true. I'm kind of like anti-jeans.
Guys, who are we manifesting this year? Who are we gonna bring on the show?
I have a thing against the girls in the baggy blue jeans. I just can't do it.
I mean, they're not my favorite, but it's just a generation
Brett,
thing. I like skinny jeans.
Who we manifesting, Brett?
To be on
Jeffree
the show?
Star.
Jeffree Star. Like, dude,
is that it?
That would be.
That's the one.
That would be a vibe. It'd be a weird vibe.
We tried to manifest Yay. Hey, maybe it can still happen.
Do you never maybe
He'll
one
reappear.
day like that? I still got my list of questions.
Nothing's impossible.
I mean, he was here.
I still got my list of questions that I would love to ask him.
Yeah.
So Yay's your answer.
Then I looked back at all those questions, and I'm just like, I imagine he would find them boring, even though I would love the answers. Like I imagined he would have found them boring and kind of like. It's been there, done that. Because a lot of it's related to like my own experiences with how I like listen to his music, right? So it's like I have questions about the album Graduation Day and stuff like this, but he's like, look, I lived that 20 lifetimes ago. Like, does he really want?
I was gonna ask him more things about like faith, but it's irrelevant now. I mean, maybe 2023.
You never know.
Fingers crossed. Bad App said there should be a league called SJW Social Justice Wrestling.
Oh my
Happy
God.
New Year, jabronis.
Dude, yeah.
And somebody commented, Bad App, I can read that. New
Whoa.
Year, new Bad App.
Look at him.
We can only hope. you know?
Look,
and then Bad App's next super chat I am not going to read. So it is not a new Bad App this year.
He's neutral.
Also, I want to point out that speaking of wrestling, I was thinking of something recently. Well, because we get a lot of crap for or people get a lot of crap for ragging, men shouldn't do this or women shouldn't do this job. This is a man's job, or women shouldn't do this job for this reason. And I was thinking about something that I've seen recently where a woman has done something exceptionally well, where I would have normally seen men there. There's a wrestler, or I'm sorry, there's an announcer for WWE that's a woman now who's phenomenal.
I've never heard a female announcer for something like that.
Not like the play-by-play announcer. All the female play-by-play announcers are awful. But this is she actually announces the people to the ring, and she's incredible.
What's her name?
I can't remember it off the top of my head. I wish I should have looked it up for.
I think women are better as talk show hosts, not as that type of
interesting.
announcer.
when she's that is interesting.
Tell me, female talk show host.
Because I was just watching 90 Day Fiance, and they do the thing where they replay the clips for the contestants or whatever they're called.
I cannot watch that show.
And I love the cringe. I'm sorry, I just do. And when I see that, I'm that would be the best job ever. You just get to hash out drama with insane people that's and you just get to ask them questions.
Network Nosedive, yes, I believe it's Samantha Urban. That's her name. At the very least, when she does certain wrestlers, it's very, very good, and there's a timbre to her voice that's very, very cathartic to hear in a lot of ways. It's really, really good. I recommend everyone. When John Cena just made his comeback for he's wrestled a match in WWE every year for the last 20 years, so he had to get his match in on December 31st for this year because he's a Hollywood dude now. Also, if you want to feel old, he has a bald spot now, which is just sad. Oh, it's really sad. But
what are you anti-bald people?
No, I'm just saying he just shows the passage of time. He's 45. He's like John Cena.
Don't tell the boss.
But so it's she announces John Cena to the ring, and then she announces Roman Reigns to the ring, and it's just really, really, really good. Really good.
Sketch Therapy said, did Dane eat... I don't know how to say that.
Bernil.
Oh, we celebrate till February. You got time.
What is it?
What is this?
It's a pork.
Oh, did you?
Yes. And it was delicious.
Nice.
The best part is eating the skin.
Yeah.
That sounded demonic, but it's true.
It sounded normal, you know?
I had a roommate with a pet pig, and let me tell you guys, when someone...
You were okay with that?
I wasn't.
Oh, okay.
Cool. Hey, thanks for asking. I wish, that would have been a great question before.
Yeah, it would have been a great question for the roommate to ask.
No, it wasn't even him. It was his friend at the time. I mean, they're probably still friends. I hate this guy.
Yeah.
I want to fight with him to the
Sounds
death.
Like it.
I'm putting that out there for
the pig's
2023.
name?
Oink. And I hated
it so much better.
I imagine that they thought that was very clever.
That's like calling a dog woof.
Dude, it wasn't possible to have friends during this period.
Yeah.
Both girls and men will come to my apartment and instantly leave. They'd be like, it reeks here.
Yeah.
It absolutely reeks here. And he's like, I don't smell it. And then we were going to get kicked out of the apartment. And I was like, dude, you either got to get rid of the pig or we're going to get kicked out. And he moved out last second. And oh my God, I got into a whole thing with his mom about the pig, who I love to this day. And I love him too. But the funny thing is that then he moved for the summer to his mom's house. She got rid of the pig on the second day.
Hell yeah.
I was like 4 months with a godforsaken animal. Now I eat bacon.
Let's do one more.
He had a rebuttal to you, Brett. He said Aaliyah wore baggy jeans. It was hot.
It's a different time. It was in at that time when I was younger.
It's in again because the 2000s are in.
And there's a particular YouTuber. I'm sorry. There's a particular Instagram dancer. She's also a YouTuber and a singer named Enola Bedard that also wears them. It looks good on her. But
I didn't know anyone in the real world was named Enola.
It's a real name. I'm Enola. She's French Canadian.
Is that how she says it?
Yeah, she's like, "Hi guys, I'm Enola," and I should rewatch it.
Sort of like a Cajun.
She wears them too. It's not even the baggy pants. It's the blue of it all. It's the light blue. Looks like you washed them too many times. Look,
like
that
Jinko jeans.
What about jean jackets?
I was so poor I couldn't afford Jinko jeans. I wore Lee pipes.
It's pretty easy to get them now.
That sounds poor as hell. I don't even know what you're saying.
Lee pipes were the generic Jinkos.
Lee pipes.
Lee pipes. pipes.
That sounds like a
Dane, did you get
unsuccessful
Jinkos?
porn star.
It does.
Did you get Jinkos?
I have no idea what that is.
No? Oh, they're
So
like
I'm
the
offended.
insanely baggy, loose jeans that were popular what time frame?
I was
They had the
fat,
big
so I wear
pockets in the back.
husky jeans.
Big pockets in the back, probably with an 8-ball on them or some design. All right, let's move on, guys.
Okay.
We'll hold off. All right, so do you remember when I talked to you guys about the creepy TikTok trend of people announcing fake celebrity deaths to their hysterical female family members? We say female family members because they were all women. This has gone into the real world, or to the world of celebrity culture, because Angela Bassett and Courtney Vance's teenage son had to apologize for participating in a fake celebrity death on
Yes.
trend on TikTok. Here's the problem, guys. The person that their son told his mom died was somebody that she worked with on a movie.
Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan, Killmonger from Black Panther. And
After the death of Chadwick Boseman.
after the death of Chadwick Boseman, it's like me
Kinda
going up to,
mean.
it's really, it's like Dane. It's like me being like, Dane, Mary died.
What?
But for serious, it'd be like me or me going up to
No!
That's how I'd be. I'm like,
Dane,
what?
Dane goes, oh darn.
that sucks.
That's what that would be
anyways.
like.
No, but I mean, I know I seemed pretty callous the other day when we were talking about this trend, and I was like, "It's hilarious." Don't care.
I think most people.
But, like,
I think most people agreed with you. I think
some
everyone
people
called
were
me
on
kind
your
of a boomer.
side, others weren't. I was basically saying, like, all of these people in these videos, first of all, are overreacting for clicks, or it was planned, and secondly, if it wasn't planned, they're probably just celebrity idol worshippers who need to like reevaluate how they feel about these like parasocial connections they
It's
have.
like they don't. It's like their son didn't realize that they're part of the group.
Like, this is totally different simply because, of course, like, she had a personal relationship and connection to this person. And after the death of another co-star on this same movie, and the fact that she's likely not returning to the franchise after her character died, I'm sure it was incredibly hard to hear this and then find out that her reaction was like to a prank, you know? And then the son posted this video apologizing. But first, I want, like, can we show the original TikTok?
We'll show the one of her reacting.
Yeah.
This is how, this is the most real out of all of them that we saw.
Because she's not, like, screaming and writhing on the floor like the other ones.
What a day.
Where'd you Postmate from?
Chick-fil-A. Yeah. Did you wait, Mom, Dad? Did you hear this? Michael B. Jordan dead at 35. 35.
Stop it, you're playing.
35.
You're playing. What?
The fact that he's just, like, snickering to himself.
Mom, this guy you knew died. Isn't that hilarious?
Like, does he know that these people actually interact?
It's
and they're
freaking
like,
weird, dude.
they know each other?
It's weird. Like,
That is odd.
It would be. It'd be like, hey, Dane.
Surely your mom for the cloud, Dad.
Also, I'm picturing the lecture because if you guys don't know who Courtney B. Vance is, Courtney B. Vance was the fantastic district attorney on the Law and Order series.
I love how you say her name.
Courtney B. Vance.
Courtney B. Vance.
He's a guy. It's a guy.
Oops.
Courtney's like, and if you like, he's got this great slow voice, this great
Courtney's
delivery.
a girl's
Sounds
name.
very.
Roasted.
Courtney Kemp is a guy. I think the guy who created Power. I know 2 male Courtneys actually.
Personally,
Yeah, like, but
Funny.
okay, so like I'm picturing him giving a very stern lecture to his son in this very calming voice that will prevent his son.
I'm not angry.
from
I'm
ever-
just disappointed.
I'm just disappointed.
That's the worst, though.
In you, son.
Those were the worst.
I want to play his apology because I don't know if he's genuinely remorseful or not.
No, I mean, I think it's like it's just it's a mixture of like not
Here.
understanding the subtext, being a part of the culture that the TikTok trend is actually making fun of, and not realizing that you're part of that culture.
Well, he is like the quintessential Gen Z,
Yeah.
like TikTok clout obsessed kid who doesn't understand the significance, the gravity of what he's doing. That's what you were calling out the other day. And you said like, oh, it's like if you told someone that like their family member or friend died. And I was like, okay, if it's like a middle-aged white woman who's creepily obsessed with Ellen DeGeneres, finding out that Ellen DeGeneres died and is like hyperventilating and freaking out, that causes secondhand embarrassment, and I don't think that it's a dignified reaction to somebody dying that you had no personal connection with.
Yeah.
This is obviously different.
But I'm just saying it shows you there's kind of like it short circuits, right? Like the internet short circuits our brains. For all intents and purposes, as the son of one of these people, he should have understood the reaction that this would cause.
Unless this was intentional, like just to get to her, which is kind of psychotic.
That's kind of
Is this a big deal,
I just
though?
sent you his apology video, and I want to like get your opinions on whether you think he's being genuine. I think he like did this on an Instagram live or something.
I'd like to apologize for for taking part in such a harmful trend.
Sounds like his
I
parents made him
apologize
do
to
it.
Michael B. Jordan's
Yeah.
entire family, his extended family, and
extremely
him directly,
scripted.
as he is an idol of mine, and taking part in a trend like this is completely disrespectful.
Come on.
I don't.
It's like a newspaper with the date on it. It seems like he's being held hostage.
Someone's like holding
This
a
is
gun
like
to his
Any
head.
bad
New ISIS
ramifications
videos.
of my actions upon his family nor my parents, as they deserve none of the backlash, and I own this was a mistake, and I hope this can be a teaching lesson to anyone else who uses social media as a tool and a source of entertainment to truly understand that your actions can have consequences that extend beyond you.
I mean, I'm kind of here for the personal responsibility.
Someone said
aspect
that
of it.
ass whooping must have been
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, dude, like, I'm here for the personal responsibility aspect
It's-
of it.
no!
It just feels fake.
No, we
It's
don't.
weirder that he's
We're
saying
not.
Michael B. Jordan is an idol of his. So like, why are you joking about him dying?
Dude, it
I
was
love this guy. He just fake died.
it was it was a joke at the expense of his mom for like 5 seconds, and she had an odd reaction like, oh no, like, okay, like, who cares? He's not dead. You could Google it.
Someone said, I know he's in the car because he's not allowed in the house right now.
Dude.
Is this really a big deal?
Someone said she beat him with a vibranium belt. Oh, no. Someone said the apology is not enough. I need to hurt you. Okay, chill.
Okay,
what
chill
the
with
hell?
that. That's not your child.
Look, it's just like I said. I just think it shows a disconnect in our culture. That
Right.
It would be weird if you were to do this about like somebody here, to somebody else here.
Of course. But Dane is a grown-ass man and understands social interactions more than a teenage kid.
Yes.
Who's isolated from the rest of the world. Like, someone tweeted
The best
a
compliment
very...
I've ever gotten.
Yeah.
Put that in your
that
bio. Dane's
he's
grown
not
ass man.
completely unaware of social boundaries. So this tweet said, I feel sorry for the younger generation because we used to make the same mistakes. The difference was the whole world wasn't witnessing it at the same time. This is why I say social media literacy needs to be implemented into curriculums. I'm not so sure about that last part because I agree with Brett on the front that like having this much invested in attaining a very temporary level of TikTok clout is detestable, and he should be taught better than that. I think that's the main reason he did this. The best solution is just don't be on the app.
What celebrity
Don't make
death-
that your personality.
What celebrity death do you guys think was fake when you heard it? For me, it was Kobe. I was like, no way.
Interesting.
He's
I thought
probably dunking as we speak. I still don't believe it.
that death was like, that had some like fishy aspects to it as well, and people talked about that.
Kobe? He
There
died
were
with his
no-
daughter, which is messed up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the hardest part to me with that one was like, there was like within an hour after Kobe died, like you got the people on Twitter who are like, let's not forget that he's an R word. And like,
Oh, really?
oh yeah, like that was a thing. Like
Was he convicted?
No, he paid out, I believe. I think
Okay.
he settled out of court.
Well, you have no idea then what really
like
went
you can't
on.
really know. But it's like if you go to California, you understand what a big deal Kobe is. Like so much
Yeah.
of like the people that I know in skating that live in California, there's so much overlap in the culture there. Murals all over of Kobe Bryant. You know, the idea of Mamba mentality is like he affected so many people. And
His name is a verb.
Yeah.
So when you like,
Kobe.
throw something,
Yeah.
when you throw
Yeah.
something at a,
There's
like a
a-
trash
there's a-
can, it's like
there's-
Kobe. Like,
there's a fantastic montage of people missing while saying Kobe, like while
I
throwing
love those
stuff
videos.
in the garbage. It's
I sometimes do that even if I'm alone.
oh, same.
but like to me,
I want to be a
it's been-
verb.
One of the most interesting things about this job is seeing the different. Sounds ghoulish, but it's like seeing the way that different Hollywood deaths have affected people differently. Jason David Frank was an absolute shocker to me. How many people were
Who?
the dude who played the Green Ranger? on Power Rangers.
That's
like his death hit a lot of people really, really hard. And or the DJ for Ellen DeGeneres. Both of them had very big impacts for people that I didn't know the DJ from Ellen DeGeneres, and I remember Tommy from Power Rangers as a part of my childhood. But you see how much longer that reach is going on, which is why I pushed back just a tiny bit and saying look, I'm not saying that these people aren't dorky for being obsessed with people that they've never met in their entire life, but I don't know if the thing that I want to be doing with my time is hey Dad, Bob Seger died. Isn't that funny?
But okay, so what my dad about this, did he instantly be like, JK mom? I'm kidding. He's
kind of. It was
not in the video at least, but he was laughing and she was still panicking a little bit. Sometimes, naturally, young people just don't understand the permanence and gravity of death. And it's natural that it's on the onus of the parents
or the internet
to signify that to them. And I have to at least, commend Angela Bassett and Courtney Vance for impressing that upon him, even if his apology seems very rehearsed.
No, it seems like he was he just got done with the punishment.
Maybe he was
now
genuine, and I have to commend them for that, because there are so many children of celebrities that do not understand the permanence of not only death, but of the things that you post on social media. Those things never go away. People will remember that he did this forever.
Absolutely.
And then I'm comparing it to Kim Kardashian allowing her daughter North on TikTok against the express wishes of Kanye, who said, very rightfully so, I don't want my child on this app that is, not only controlled by a nefarious foreign government, but also has so many sexual and adult themes and bots and predators and just brainwashing. I think it's natural that a parent wouldn't want their kid exposed to that kind of thing.
The social media aspect of it, the public aspect of it is what matters. Dark humor is normal. Me and you have extremely dark senses of humor. That's
not me.
But yeah. But the thing is there's a difference between
Dane is totally PC.
There is a difference between using dark humor as an outlet amongst people that you've developed a close actual social bond with and doing it externally for clout. I don't see those as the same thing. Also in the chat somebody said, but Bob Saget did die. I actually said Bob Seger, not Bob Saget. I think Bob Seger is still
get it right.
I think Bob Seger is still holding on. Yeah, the death of Bob Saget was crazy too. That one, and Chester Bennington, that one affected a lot of people.
That the Linkin Park guy.
Yeah, the Linky Park guy.
Linkin. How was it?
Lincoln.
I hate that every time a celebrity dies these days, the tweets are half RIP and half, but what about this thing they did wrong one time?
In the 80s. It's and that's,
even if it's legitimate, it's irrelevant. Yeah. It's irrelevant. They're dead. What are we going to do now? Cancel them again?
Yes.
From the grave?
That's those are
we can try.
It's why whenever the YouTubers that I would talk about how SJWs are these the YouTuber that I talk about a lot is Zach from Comics Manor talks about, he's I fought in 2 wars on multiple continents. SJWs are the worst human beings I've ever met in my entire life.
Base.
He's like, if you go to war, you understand the people that they're fighting for something specific, right? They're fighting whether it's for their homeland, for a specific cause. He goes, SJWs, they just want to hurt you. They just want to cause you harm, and they want to destroy you for no reason other than it's fun.
I mean, but these people are unlovable even by themselves. So that's what I'm saying. When I was reading Bronze Age Mindset, the
powerful name drop.
Is it?
Yeah.
I think the biggest lesson in that book is to completely not worry about these people because they're so self-defeating.
That they'll die out eventually.
Yeah, their whole. That's not,
but don't we see
their whole
pictures of them with kids?
But their whole
kids.
Their whole shtick depends on ignoring reality. How long can that sustain? Yeah. Life slaps you in the face eventually, every time. Karma's undefeated.
We'll see. I guess you're right. In a lot of ways, you've talked about how eventually social justice warrior, this culture will be replaced with something else. You think it'll be worse. I don't think it. Maybe I'm more pessimistic, but I'm what comes from here that could be better. Whether that's an age of have you seen that article? There was an article recently about a group of high school kids who have purposely gotten off social media and smartphones. They all have dumb phones on purpose because they just don't want to be connected to the internet.
There's even a whole brand of those like
Yeah.
so-called dumb phones, which are called wise phones, and they have every function of a normal phone, but without internet access.
Like I think that's a good idea. Like I think that there could be a culture behind that. Like maybe that's where like when hipsters have their comeback, it will be lo-fi culture.
What do you mean by lo-fi culture?
Well, I'm saying they won't be using the internet on their phones, and they'll be like, they already like record players over MP3s. Like maybe they'll just use
and Polaroids over
and
iPhone
Polaroids.
cameras.
So maybe they'll get rid of the internet, and that will be how they make their comeback because they can't admit that they were scared off. See, my theory is, guys, that I believe that the reason hipster culture died off is because none of them had the balls to wear a "Make America Great Again" hat, ironically, and so they stared it in the face and they blinked first. And then they just poof, they were gone.
It's a completely foreign concept to people these days that a subversive kind of subculture could grow anywhere but digitally, at all.
Yeah.
Like people don't have any concept that a culture could grow in real life between real people.
Put up flyers in the laundromat by you.
But that's something else that the book talks about. So the fault of the left is that they're self-defeating. The fault of the right is that they keep longing for this time in the past where things were better, and you're never gonna get there.
Yeah,
like you're never gonna get there. Like stop trying to cripple yourself technologically.
It's funny too because
embrace the technology. Just be moral.
But the left is the one that pushes nostalgia, but the right is the one that seems to be hopeful for a time long since past. I identify more and more with that phrase that I keep talking about. The world you were born into no longer exists. Yeah. That phrase resonates with me more and more every day. And not in the sense that I feel like I'm nostalgic for that time period, but almost a bit sad. Because if nostalgia would kind of insinuate that you think that you can get back there in some way, and I don't think you can ever get back there. But is that just the innocence of, was it Molyneux who said like you wish that he could vomit up the red pill? Who was the one that said they wish they could vomit up the red pill? Like there's days where I wish that I could just unsee a lot of the crap that I see in the world.
The blue pill.
Yes, exactly.
I don't feel the same usually, but maybe it'll just take more time.
This is where then I make this, well, when you're older, you'll get it, Mary. You'll get it. This is Superchats.
Bobcat said, you need to invite the Mothman and the Flatwoods Monster onto the show. That's for Inverted Tales. We don't really get into the urban legends here, but my younger brother is very into the Mothman.
By the way, shout outs to everyone in chat that's trying to make my name into a verb. I appreciate that.
How do you Dane font something?
Isn't Dane already kind of a verb?
Dane?
Deign to question.
Oh, like descend to something.
I dare to deign to. You can already use it that way.
Yeah, maybe.
There we go.
Ray J's World said, with Tim Pool being a Dragon Ball Z fan and Mary looking like an anime character, I'm wondering when all the anime news episode of Pop Culture Crisis will happen.
That will happen when they get a separate podcast just for anime and manga, guys. Yeah. That's
to be totally honest, we know nothing about anime and manga.
I don't. It just doesn't interest me the same. Like maybe I'd fall in love with it if I had the time, but I just don't have the time. Like I go through and I watch. You know what I watched this weekend? And this is the funny thing about this job now. Now when I go through and I watch old stuff, I feel guilty. Yeah. On the weekends, I woke up on Sunday and I watched. I literally went through a three-peat Michael Mann film festival where I watched Collateral, Heat, and Miami Vice all in one day. And I was like, I could have been watching something that we could be reviewing on here, but no.
I feel like I've accepted my role in the show and as the guy that knows absolutely nothing about it.
About what?
Pop culture.
Oh.
I mean, do you really need to know anything about Jeffree Star to not think it's funny that to imagine Jeffree Star being chased by a bunch of people in hooded cloaks and like lit flame, like the flame?
We're just,
I guess,
chilling, memeing.
We're here for
the thing is, like, if I'm watching an animated show, what I want to be watching is like old Cartoon Network, like Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, or Foster's Home of Imaginary Friends, or Flapjack, or like shows like that. I was never really exposed to anime. I wasn't allowed to watch anime. Derek Null said Gen X has done several things of note, including some of the best music that was incredibly genre-changing, the best comic stories, and best wrestling.
Yeah, I mean, Gen X would have been the heart of the Attitude Era, and a lot. I mean, wouldn't that be what if you're looking at Kurt Cobain, grunge, Nirvana? That would have all been Gen X.
Yeah, but we made memes, so get wrecked.
Fair enough.
Millennials made memes.
Yeah.
Yes, Tom.
what if-
Tom is right. Torches was the word I was looking for. It's one of those days, guys.
What if memes have always existed, but they were just spread differently?
Well, we
that's-
claimed it.
There's an actual meme about that. It says, like, we didn't have memes. We just shouted Dave Chappelle quotes to one another from across the room.
Someone put me in Wikipedia as the creator of memes.
Oh, yeah. You can just put anything on Wikipedia these days.
Just do it. Just
Slavky Nikki said, Dane wants to fight. I'll box Dane. Hashtag Timcast Boxing.
okay.
Whoa.
Boxcast.
Rude.
Is Timcast Boxing going to be a thing?
Could do that.
I'm not getting in the ring. I'm sorry. I'm not made of tough stuff.
Ride a bike.
I'm crazy. 1,000 Foot Deep End said, I worked on a ranch that raised a wild piglet named it Pig Pig. Is that better or worse than Oink? I kind of like it better than Oink.
It's cuter.
Yeah.
Pig is great.
Pig.
Oink is just like, you just like hate the thing, you know?
Busted Cap says, one of those days you didn't want to wake up. No, nobody gets it.
Wait, what?
Everybody sucks. It's a,
Oh, I see.
but no, it
References.
wasn't that. Yes. All right. Let us say, or is there more? There's
just one more.
Go for
BMF
it.
Nate Dogg said, death is not permanent. Kathy Griffin's mom came back.
That is true.
Right.
And Chadwick Boseman.
Resurrected from the dead. Nothing to see there.
And Chadwick Boseman
totally
promoted.
not Kathy Griffin trying to troll Elon and failing.
By the way, that's the ultimate in wow.
Yeah.
Like, you need help.
You need psychological help.
It was Keith Olbermann tweeted from his dog's account.
Kathy Griffin is just like alone in her giant LA mansion on her dead mother's Twitter account, attempting desperately to be cool and failing at it.
They literally have nothing else to do.
Yeah. She got bored.
The elites, everyone.
We have to get to a crisis party today, guys, because Dane needs to hear the incredible crisis sound.
It was
Like,
really
it's-
good.
yeah, it's-
I liked it. Brett did a good job picking a sound.
All right, guys, we're moving on. So now that we're done with the cringy stuff, now comes the creepy stuff.
Yeah.
And this is creepy, guys. So this is a video, and the topic is pretty easy to understand. Demi Moore, who you will know as the cougar wife of Ashton Kutcher, proved that she was a predator long before then. In this video from like the 80s, where she is seen kissing a 15-year-old boy at his 15th birthday party.
Is that confirmed
Yes,
that he had just turned 15 that
yes.
day?
Yep.
Wild. So this was her co-star on, what was it, General Hospital?
Yes.
It's weird that they're coworkers. It's weird that he literally just turned 15. It's weird that there is a random small child sitting in between them as they're making out. It's weird that there's a woman randomly singing Somewhere Over the Rainbow right next to them and being really awkward about it. Like, there's nothing not weird about this clip.
So the actor's name is Philip Tanzini, and I'm going to point out, so he was born on 1/9/1967. Demi Moore was born on 11/11/1962. So the idea here is that she had just turned 19 and like a couple of months before, and he had just turned 15. The problem is, guys, this kid looks like he's like 2 years old, and her behavior is very druggy and very, very familiar. I can't claim to know that she was on drugs, but she is.
And then on top of that, she
Love
looks
that.
like she appears a lot older than 19, and
Yes.
her voice is older than the average 19-year-olds. It's just
Let's
weird.
watch. So, the reason that this clicked for me, the story was like, I was like, this is the chick that married Ashton Kutcher, and everyone thought it was like weird because
They
she
did.
was older.
Well, then people called Ashton Kutcher creepy for being in a relationship with Mila Kunis.
See, Waffle
Why?
Sensei says she should
'Cause-
go to jail, but the kid is a Chad. See, look, guys and girls are different.
Yeah, it's not the same.
This dude is not traumatized from this,
No.
but let's watch the
Well,
clip.
unless we hear something from him.
Well, look, in this culture, you never know.
Oh, wow. Look at her.
Oh, it's so weird.
Okay, one more time.
Oh, she really went for it. Damn, she.
And then there's just this random woman like singing
like
somewhere over the rainbow. Like, what is this?
She's like trying to sing like somewhere over the age of consent. Like, please.
I feel that joke.
Like she literally
more.
just started like she wasn't even supposed to be singing. She's like just make it stop.
She's just doing that to cope with the awkwardness. Somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah, like okay, it's like, and it doesn't just stop there. That's like she's overly familiar. She's on drugs. She has to be on drugs. I can't.
Really
on something. And then why is there like this random like little younger kid in between them watching this happen?
How first of all, what this also proves is that those Dahmer glasses were total chick magnets. Why didn't that work for me?
The reason, by the way, that people called Ashton Kutcher creepy for his relationship with Mila Kunis is because they met when she was 14 and he was like, I think he was 19.
Yeah.
But what creeps me out is like she really went for
and this was the kid's 15th birthday. He had just turned 15.
And like, is he also drinking? Like, Hollywood is so weird, I would not put it past him.
Mary says he can't be drinking. I'm like, oh, you don't. It was Hollywood. It was the 80s.
Even crazier, in another clip, he calls out to his mom, who is watching this whole thing. His mother is in the room.
Yeah.
And doesn't do anything about it. Like, it's incredibly shocking.
Evan5935 says there are only 4 years age difference between them, maybe 5. Romeo and Juliet laws and all. She was married at the time of this.
It's weird.
Really?
It's also weird that she's married.
She was married to a guy named Freddie Moore, who was 29 and started dating her when she was 16.
Like, none of this is normal. None of this is normal.
Pulling off a Seinfeld.
And then so she's been married 3 times. She was married to Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
From 87 to 2000.
I feel like crazy because the reactions to this are completely split between people saying this is totally fine and other people being incredibly disturbed by it. And like, you kind of can't win because if you say that it's okay, you're a groomer. And if you say that it's not okay, then you're called a Puritan. There's nothing in between. I think it's incredibly weird.
I will say that I don't think it's the right thing to do, but I don't think for a second that this dude is traumatized. Not for a second.
Okay, maybe he's not, but also that's not the marker of something being ethical or not, right?
Mom, and I hope they all love me. We do love him. And I love them.
Oh, it's so creepy.
I mean,
She's married.
He looks fine.
She's married. And why is there a little kid between them?
Who is that kid? Like, I don't understand.
He's one of my most favorite people.
And then she's is completely incoherent.
She's
not okay.
Or something.
I'm listening loud. And I'm Philip Tanzini, and I play Jeremy, and you're stealing my part. I'm sorry.
Okay, like you said, there is no winning in this argument, and like I said, it's a different time. Like she didn't think it was a problem.
She wasn't thinking about anything.
She wasn't thinking about anything
from the sound of her.
Like bro was having the time of his life, and I don't believe for a second that he cared. I don't really know if I can talk.
But then there are other people who are saying like, I have a son this age, and I would have been infuriated if somebody acted like this with him. Like,
yeah, well, they weren't that age in the 80s. It was the 80s.
But like, people are people. Human psychology has not fundamentally changed since the 80s, 90s, or 2000s.
Well, but
human behavior
hasn't it though?
No, it's not. It's like,
but the problem is now
1,000 years ago, the human brain is the same as it is now. Evolution doesn't go that quickly.
I don't think we're any different. I think now you're incentivized to find a reason to be a victim.
What I think this is Hollywood having always been weird, but finding new ways to hide. You know, in the present day, they have more ways to keep how weird they are hidden from the public, and then point fingers at the rest of us.
Matt Damon in chat says he's just top G.
And then above that, the era of Quaaludes. Oh yeah, this is like the first thing I thought of was benzo or opiate. Just.
I'm just thinking plain old alcohol.
Like no, this didn't look like alcohol to me. This
good old fashioned. This looked like
this looked like to me like you're so high on pills that your nose feels warm and your fingers tingle.
Okay.
And so, look.
I mean, we can never know.
She was 19, so yes, the age difference 4 years. Here it comes.
Nice. You like it, Dane? Thank you,
it's
guys.
What time?
Party time.
No? Any fans of The Mask here?
I
hope we don't get copyright claims.
We'll see.
For that.
We'll see if that happens.
So I saw this tweet that said, "Sick as this is, it's the tip of the iceberg. This is what they hide, and the reason these sorts of actions and perversions are pushed to be normalized and accepted by society. They invert what is real so they get away with it, and not for much longer." Like, this reminds me of the fact that there's a concerted effort right now to normalize the cougar reality dating shows.
I agree with the comments that we got before. They've been trying to. That's been a thing for like 20. They've been doing that for 30 years.
Yeah, I think it's a very like concerted effort, and what I hate more than anything about the video isn't even just what's happening on the surface. It's that you can tell from her body language that she also thinks of herself as inherently superior to this other person, like as a person, and she is like descending down to his level and like getting off on the fact that she can get away with doing anything she wants because of her star power. I hate when celebrities display that kind of behavior. And yes, she was high out of her mind.
And it's a fair thing to point out. Like, look, if the roles were reversed, right? Yeah. Like the guy would be getting a lot of flack right now.
True.
And it's true. Like,
but they weren't.
Men and women are different. Boys and girls are different. But at the end of the day, like, no parent in their right mind watching this happen, as his mother was, would just simply sit back and allow that to happen. Like, this is not cool.
Am I messed up to think? I feel like my parents would not have given an F.
I mean, they should have if they wouldn't.
I think it might be because we're dudes. I don't think I think a dude. This is a legitimate thing. Our parents seeing this happen to boys would be a lot different than parents seeing this happen to their daughters.
I mean, I'd love to know what. Well, there are people saying like, I have a son this age, and this would not be okay by me. And then I wonder also, what does Demi Moore's husband have to say about this as well?
Let's get him on the show.
Manifesting 2023. Everyone we mention on the show.
Demi Moore's ex-husband. Get him on.
We don't want to have Demi Moore on?
I want Chet Hanks.
I mean, me too.
Nothing to do with
Chet Hanks
anything.
is offering a discount on his program for New Year's.
Well, there we go.
He's turning into my favorite person because his whole channel is like, your life's kind of hard. Shut the fuck up and just do the work.
Base.
Like, he's like kind of like Papa Swolio, the guy who says go to the gym. His whole channel is just him swinging a crowbar, like a club, and saying go to the effing gym. Like, that's basically what he is. Only he charges more money.
I like that.
Like, yeah, okay, we're getting all sorts of reactions in the chat. Like I said, there's no way for this to not be a divisive topic for people.
I mean, why is it either people making comments that sexualize
also,
a minor?
Right. It does not make it right. Like, nobody's saying that any of this makes what she did right.
No, there are people saying that. There are definitely people saying that. Not in our chat necessarily, but I'm looking at the tweets. There are people who are totally for this, and I think that's a disturbing tell for like how we see children now.
Where was her husband during this? Like, was her husband making out with his mom? Was her husband making out with his mom, and that's why they got away with this?
Like, there are just no social boundaries observed by celebrities. Clearly,
I want to know the lady that sung that song. Like
what was she thinking?
Yeah.
I want to know the details. And
what
who
made
was
you
that
burst into song?
why the small child in between them? Like, even then,
it seems like a house party, like a family party.
But it's not. It's like a business party because they're coworkers.
Yeah.
Well, now I just gotta agree with Brett. It was the 80s, you know.
It's weird that they're coworkers. It's weird that he literally
It's
just
not weird
turned
that
age.
It's not weird that they're coworkers. It's in an industry where that's the norm. Is it weird that they're at the same party together?
It's an industry where I'm saying that them being coworkers makes this weirder. Not that it's weird that they're coworkers.
Okay. Yes.
And it's an industry, obviously, where minors and adults work together on a regular basis. But it's also an industry where all of those people are not capable of enforcing very normal, ordinary social boundaries between them.
And let's say 4 years. Okay, so say we move this up 10 years and she's 29 and he's 25. Obviously, that's not weird. The idea here is that you're ignoring the social conventions of the time, meaning that he's a child and you're an adult, and so you shouldn't do it there. You know what I'm saying?
But she's 19. I don't know.
I think she obviously has an ego trip about this going on in her head. that she's descending down to the level of someone she believes is inherently inferior to her.
I think it's weird that there was
I think that's gross.
In the third Transformers movie, they used like age of consent laws as like a storyline for like Mark Wahlberg's daughter in that movie. Yeah, there's like they reference Romeo and Juliet laws in because like the boyfriend is a certain amount older than the daughter, and he's like, it's too creepy that you're with my daughter. He goes, actually, it's not, and he pulls out a card that shows that it's legal for him to be with his daughter. It's like. It's Hollywood. It's not even the 80s. It's just Hollywood.
Hollywood doesn't care what's legal. They do what they want, and then they hide it from you, and then they point the finger at you saying you're the weird one for noticing that they're weird. And I don't like the hypocrisy. Like this is what goes on in Hollywood to this very day, and yet they point the finger at the rest of society saying that.
I think it's only because he looks so childish.
Yeah, I think that's a big part of it. He looks 12.
He looks like a kid.
And she doesn't look 19. Yeah, she looks 30.
But if he looked like me when I was 15, I don't think anyone would.
Like, I'm actually like kind of here for like the chat. Like I'm here for it. Like everyone's like kind of got a different opinion about this. And then I like it. Like everyone's got their own opinions on it. I don't think it should have happened, but I
don't think it should have been televised. That's so weird.
But actually, at the same time, I don't care. At the same time, I don't care. And like I said, guys are different. This dude is not traumatized. This dude, if anything, if this dude didn't go on to keep acting, he told this story every day for like the next.
He's telling it right now.
The problem with asserting that is like a lot of people who are legitimate victims of things aren't traumatized.
It's
because they'll just make a story up about what happened in their mind, which is easier than confronting the reality of what happened.
There's levels. It's a scale. Not everything is the same.
Not like I'm personally affected by this, but
I know, but
I'm just pointing out Hollywood is obviously an incredibly insulated and socially maladjusted
it's inappropriate.
Social culture.
Yep, I'm with you.
And I don't relate to it, and I'm glad I'm not a part of it.
The hard part of this job is we ask the tough questions here
on
Pop Culture Crisis. We really get down into
the journalists.
We're the journalists.
The real journalists.
Take that, Taylor Lorenz.
As we actively concoct fake news in this room every day.
Well, that's us.
Let's go to Super Chats. Goofer Trooper said, Happy New Year's, PCC. Happy New Year to you.
And a Happy New Year to you. May it be excellent.
Feliz año nuevo.
Clint sent us some thunderstorm emojis.
Make it rain.
Gross John sent us a super chat without a message.
Thank you, Gross John.
Thank you. And Clint sent another thunderstorm emoji.
Much rain.
Potatoes for Seamus said, Brett, I missed you and Dane possibly even marry or just marry, maybe. But most of all, I missed my PCC family. Speaking of family, we must know if Hannah Claire watched more Fast and Furious. What does the rest of this say?
Dane, you my woman of the new year.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
How do you feel about that?
I'm honored.
Dane is every woman. Waffle Sensei. We have a story about Waffle Sensei.
Oh, yeah.
He said, if the genders were switched on the kiss, I would feel very different. So I guess I'm biased. Again, Demi should go to jail for it. And the kid needs a legendary Chad trophy.
See, if we get all these double standards that favor women, we get one double standard that favors boys. And that's that the girl goes to jail and the guy gets the Chad of the Year trophy.
Okay, so Waffle Sensei, you... Okay, you were like tweeting things at Taylor and she told us she actually thought that you were Brett. I have no idea why she would have thought this other than that you post things about Pop Culture Crisis. But for a second, she really thought that you were just like an alt account for Brett.
Which is a compliment because I'm not nearly as witty or as funny as Waffle Sensei.
Yeah.
So that's
Waffle Sensei,
but that's
genius.
See, but this is the thing, guys. This is the thing. That's not the funny story. The funny story would have been if he said something that really offended Taylor, and then she comes into work and is like really pissed at me, and I'm like, why is she so mad at me?
Right.
Like, and then she's like, but like, and I'm like, I did nothing to you.
Thankfully, Waffle Sensei is such a nice guy that would never happen.
Exactly.
Not to me.
He's not nice to you? Do you have something to air out right now?
I feel like he negs me. You know?
Is that a flirting tactic?
I think so.
He's trying to gain your favor, really.
Yeah.
Bobcat said, is there anything creepier than a cougar? At least men have some level of accountability.
Yeah, maybe the creepy part is
that she was 19.
I guess the
cougar.
She's not like a cougar in that respect. But the thing that
barely a child.
The thing that struck me is that it was just funny because she then went on to marry Ashton Kutcher when they were very far apart in age. So it's like I see a pattern.
Is there something to it?
Is there something to it here? I know that if it was a guy, we'd be investigating thoroughly and we'd be getting 1,000 articles written about the creepy. So when Demi Moore dies, are we going to get like, yeah, but remember that time she made out with the 15-year-old boy at the party? Are we going to get that article?
You guys want to cancel her when she dies and the show's still running? Let's make a pact.
Like it's like, oh, like I'm like 80 and like it's like, and I'm like, well, don't you remember that time in the early days of this show and we covered that blasphemous scandal about her making out with a child on air?
I feel like every show we should start an outrageous rumor.
Sure, I'm down with that.
Dane is secretly a woman.
Why does it have to be at Dane's expense?
No, I'm just starting.
At my expense? I'm a woman.
Okay.
No, in the chat, so it says if it was a 19-year-old male, y'all's energy would be different.
It would.
I mean, my energy
I don't know how you guys
different.
think that. I don't know how you guys think that's
would
an
have
own.
A different energy.
I don't know how you guys think that's an own. You know, like I'm not some SJW who thinks that everything's the same.
I don't think everything is the same, but I think both are gross.
I know, but I think some things are worse.
There are things that are in common between the two.
Yeah, but some things are worse. I don't know. What do you want me
to say? But I can promise you my energy would be exactly the same.
A lot of the things that they're pointing out are things that are relevant because of age difference. Like he says, a 15-year-old is in middle school, a 19-year-old can be deployed into war. Yes, that's why it's creepy then, but it's not creepy when she's 29 and he's 25 because the scales have evened as far as what they're allowed to do in society. Do you understand what I'm saying? Both of them can drink now. Both of them could go to war. Like it's not the same thing. It's just, it is about what our social conditioning tells us is appropriate and the fact that she's just blatantly ignoring it.
And I don't think that's irrelevant, you know?
Yeah.
Like conditioning matters. Yep. Not Alan Rogers said, for the boomers in the chat, it's okay for adult gay men to kiss young boys then, right? What are the boomers in the chat saying? I don't understand.
Nuance.
I don't know where the chat's at.
The hell? No one's. By the way, no one's saying like this is super cool and we want more of it. Literally, this is no.
Some people are saying that on Twitter.
Here,
yeah, but
not here.
Yeah.
And I want to push back on those people on social media who are saying that. But I'm not saying like the chat's cool with everything.
This is the same thing that happens every time a male teacher abuses a female student, it is sexual assault or R word. Whenever a female teacher abuses a male student, it is sexual misconduct, which just sounds so much less awful.
Why is that? Is it because of the reactions we're seeing right now?
And then you get 1,000 comments saying, I wish I was that kid.
Yeah.
Look, I'm just saying that things are different. And here's the thing. I don't know if I would even disagree. Like, if I was the dude, would I be traumatized and was I taken advantage of? Sure, I guess. But would I react differently?
It's really not even about someone's subjective feelings. Someone's feelings can change on a dime about what happened in the past. Their interpretations can change on a dime. We're talking about, like, the cold hard facts which are in front of us. We have all the evidence. The video is right here. That's what matters. It's not really about like how that guy feels today.
BD Jake says opinions on half their age plus 7 rules work for everyone over 21. Yeah, do half your age plus 7. It always works if you're over the age of 21.
Slavky Nikki said, I want to know what happens behind Netflix doors. It can't be good. It can't be good.
Well, actually, they don't know what's going on there. They're just like, here's your money. Make your movie.
BMF Nate Dogg said, can speak from experience, born in 89. I was neck deep in beep in the 80s.
It was the women were so good in the 80s that you were neck deep in it even when you weren't alive in the 80s. That's how good it was.
I think the joke was that he was inside his mother's womb.
Yeah. Potatoes for Seamus said, Brett, check your skates for sabotage from Taylor.
I'm going to have to double check that later.
Whoa.
I'm going to have to double check that.
The plot thickens.
Yeah. All right, we're moving on, guys. So, if you want more proof that the Batgirl movie was a horrible idea, I'm going to give you that proof in
We also have corny puns for you.
In one singular image.
Don't do it.
Are you ready?
No.
This triggered me. I was triggered.
Trigger warning.
So, okay. In fact, I'm not even going to start at the top of the article. Here we go. If you were wondering, this is why this movie was a bad idea.
Those listening, please look up this picture.
It's like they were like, can we make a suit with the ugliest titties ever in the history of outfits? I don't care if that's offensive.
Apparently you can.
It is the worst costume I maybe have ever seen.
You could call Leslie Grace's Batgirl costume a Leslie disgrace.
It is.
I love that. I'm so proud of you right
Everything
now.
about this sucks. It looks like a really badly done cosplay. Her helmet looks ridiculous. She looks like a blueberry.
This one was better. The motorcycle inspired outfit
even
was better.
the motorcycle outfit makes her look like she's wearing coveralls at a mechanic shop.
Oh my goodness.
Like, it looks so bad. And then I feel like she kind of looks like she has male pecs instead of like a female body. And that's the whole...
They look like a lady
I think that's the motivation behind designing costumes this ugly, is like erasing everything about her being female.
It looks like a woman who gave birth and has saggy titties after giving birth. I'm sorry. It does.
There we go. That's it. The definitive take.
Any other opinions?
No, that's the take.
That's like the first thing I noticed, and that's like the last
We're
thing.
done.
Wait, did she post this herself?
She posted it.
Turn off the stream, Brett. We're done.
It's just I also love like my favorite part is like, imagine being a Chris Hemsworth or a Henry Cavill who worked really hard to get into shape, and then they just throw fake abs on anyone.
The fake abs look laughably ridiculous on her. Obviously, like, that's stupid.
How vain is Batman and Batgirl that they're gonna be like, I just want them to know I'm jacked.
And the bat nips? What if they did the bat nips on a female costume? That would have been insane.
Like, no, thank you. They don't look like male. They don't look male to me. They look like
I think that
horribly
looks like,
ugly old female.
That looks like fake silicone pecs that bodybuilders get.
Bat cleavage.
And call themselves natty.
What's natty?
Natural, no steroids.
Got it. Thank you.
Radioactive Girl Scout. Oh no, Stevie J. What Brett described is called fried eggs.
LOL.
What?
Dude, like, can you imagine? Like, here's the other thing that you don't like that they don't always say is like a big part of like what makes the costumes work when you see them in the movies is the lighting. But I don't even know if lighting and set design can change how bad this looks.
Okay, I'm sending you another where you get a different angle of her costume, and it's harrowing.
Okay.
It's in this tweet.
What, the one with the makeup?
Yeah, but it's a second.
Okay.
I really hope this movie gets leaked one day. Just the raw footage. I want the takes.
The thing is, like, Leslie Grace is an attractive, feminine-looking woman, and they just like tried to make her look as horrible as possible.
I'm turning this music off.
Yeah.
See, that was the and this one that looks like they're flattening her to make her look as androgynous as possible.
Yeah, it's disturbing. I really don't understand
she
what
looks like a younger Rosario Dawson.
What is the agenda?
No, I thought she looked like a weird mixture of Zoe Kravitz and Zoe Saldana.
What is the agenda behind making women as unsexy and unfeminine as possible?
Because
I don't like this trend.
Because
it's anti-woman.
Because whether they want to admit it or not, this is still an industry space that's dominated by men, and you can't do anything that makes men happy.
And that tweet said Leslie Grace's Batgirl costume would have fit better in Matt Reeves' Batman universe, since the Batgirl was more practical when in production and filming and grounded in the real world.
Yep.
Even with the leather like motorcycle costume, I think, why does it need to make practical sense? Why does it need to be like grounded in the real world when this is a superhero flick? Like, she's doing flips in the air on strings. Like, she can just wear like a tight fitting leather outfit, right?
Okay, so here's it. Is it anti-woman or is it anti-man? Is it anti-woman because it degrades the ability for women to be allowed to be sexy on screen? Or is it anti-man because we have to make them this way because we don't want men to have anything they want to that they like to see?
I think it's anti-humanity to masculinize women and feminize men. And that's exactly what they're doing.
Yep.
Within every opportunity in media, that is what they do. They steal from both men and women what makes them powerful.
It's and in these cases, like something like this, I fall into the nefarious category where I imagine that some costume designer was like, well, it can't be a hot woman's costume. Like, think of like the silhouette of Black Widow. One of my favorite things that Marvel did, as bad as the Black Widow movie was, I was surprised that they did the motion graphic for the logo for the film of her walking, because it shows the width of her hips, which is unbelievably feminine and female to have the hips that she had and the way that she would walk, which felt very like that they were sexualizing her in a way. And I was actually surprised to see that from Marvel in 2021. Like, you can't have anything that is inherently beautiful and female.
I mean, Black Widow was pretty much the entire roster's girlfriend at one point in the Marvel series.
Right now, it's just seen as degrading and objectifying to just appear as a woman in media. And I think that's absurd. Yep. But again, like, I'm kind of glad if it looks this bad, we didn't have to sit through the entire thing. I'm glad that this project got scrapped, because I have a premonition that it would have been shit quality.
Okay, did you guys see that panel on Vice about feminism?
The what? Yeah,
no.
I didn't watch it.
Sidney Watson and Pearlie was on it.
Here's a fair question. Here's a fair question. So, Radioactive Girl Scout says, "Why does she have to be sexy?"
Why does she have to be sexy? It's not that it would have been like contrived sexiness. It's just that Leslie Grace is a sexy woman, and they're actively doing things. They're going out of their way to downplay that and distract from it. I think that's the inorganic way to go about this. If you didn't inhibit her in some way, she would be a sexually appealing actress.
She still looks kind of cute in that picture.
It feels like there should be a middle ground somewhere.
Yeah, but there's not, because these people are insane ideologues.
Yep.
Someone quote tweeted it and said, I genuinely mourn Brendan Fraser getting robbed of a major role, but let's not kid ourselves that this movie would have been sincerely good. Yeah, I think that a lot can be gleaned from the fact that they had costume design this thoughtless and careless. Because, like, how could they have given quality thought to the rest of the aspects of this movie? It was already rumored that getting rid of this film was a quality control thing.
Yeah.
Not even related to wokeness.
It's funny, too, because she is a gorgeous, like, Leslie Grace is beautiful.
And then they're going out of their way. It takes a lot to make a woman that beautiful look.
I don't know what you guys are talking
androgynous.
about. Like, I feel like it's still... I can still tell she's a cute girl there.
The helmet is awful.
I mean, she looks like a blueberry. I'll stand by that.
I think it just looks like a Batgirl costume. I don't think it's that bad.
Well, we can agree to disagree on this one. I still would have rather they gone with this one, even though I don't like that one either.
I don't like either one. And the first reaction I had to seeing that promotional picture was, of course, like the same thing.
The first one's even worse. The first one looks like a trash bag.
Yeah. It looks like it's made of like PVC. And then this one looks like styrofoam, in my opinion.
This one, I don't know, it's just an awkward picture where she's just like getting food and she's like,
it looks like it could get sold at Party City.
It's also funny too, because it's like the reason you can't do this is because men do want to see these things, right? Men want to see beautiful women on screen. I don't know if it necessarily means that she wouldn't be. I guarantee you she would have still been just as gorgeous when she was not in the costume. It just seems like there wasn't a lot of... I don't know if there's an agenda here. I just think not a lot of care was put into making the costume.
Maybe it's not even that there's an agenda, but this is so baked into the culture right now that it's something that we don't even think about anymore.
Somebody says it's Frost in a bat suit. I wouldn't. That's mean.
There is a war being waged on femininity right now.
And beauty in general.
And beauty,
like, whether they want to admit it or not, there is more. Like, okay, I know that this is not going to be my most popular take, but like, I just don't see these industries as ones where you shoot for average. Right. Mm-hmm. I understand that there's a lot of power now in the idea of people being able to see themselves on screen, but I don't really want to see me on screen. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't want to see average on screen.
If it's a superhero film, especially you want to see an extraordinary person.
You're supposed to see the height of what the human being is capable of becoming, which is why I don't want to see beer gut Superman. I want to see...
Or Fat Thor.
I want to see ripped Superman. I want him to look like he's on 80,000 just gallons of steroids.
Fat Thor was really a step too far. Because not only was he fat, he was depressed. alcoholic,
a laughing stock.
They're
gamer.
not doing this.
Like, what the hell are you doing?
But that's the rare example. They're not doing this to the men. Not on the main stage, not the major players.
What do you mean by that?
Okay, Batman is still Batman in good
Thor
shape.
was definitely
But
like
that one example, yeah, but he's hot by the end of it, or within 10 minutes of the movie starting.
Yeah,
No,
but
he's
even
not.
after that, they're still laughing at him.
The point is, like, that's not the norm for the male characters. The male characters aren't desexualized. If anything, the male characters are shown shirtless all the time.
But again, I think that the image of a female body is more potent, and it always will be to anybody. And that's precisely why it needs to be inorganically suppressed.
Yeah.
That's my conclusion from this. And you're grossly misusing $90 million if this is all you can come up with.
Yeah. Well, what were they spending it on?
I have no idea. Consultants?
Oh.
Useless consultant
No,
class?
what are they called? The
consultant class.
No. When you're having a sex scene.
The
intimacy
intimacy
coordinators,
coordinators.
yeah, would have all been-
Hopefully they weren't going to need any of those.
Dude,
but,
imagine being an intimacy coordinator.
I when we get gender parity for intimacy coordinators, when are there going to be Chad intimacy coordinators? Are we going to get male intimacy coordinators?
How would that work? Is like keep going.
Yeah. Look, it just seems weird. Like, if the men are supposed to be these ripped examples of like what it means to be a man,
Someone
then
said it's
the women
Batgirl
should be,
from Wish.com.
yeah, then the girls should be equally as beautiful, and their suits should reflect that the way that the masculinity is echoed in the men's suits.
Yeah.
That's just my take on it.
Some people say like, oh, it would look better with special effects on it.
No, okay.
But like, there's a
That's
reason
fair,
this thing got shelved.
That's a fair.
Zaslav watched it and didn't like it.
That is a fair critique. I don't know about special effects, but lighting goes a long way. This would look, what you're seeing right now is the harshest, worst lighting you could possibly get. So once you see this, like, you're not going to see her in this outfit in the middle of the day. You're going to see it cloaked in darkness, shadowed, lit really well. Maybe it looks completely different under the lights. I don't know, but doesn't work for me. Just
Not a
doesn't work for
good
me.
first impression.
No.
But thankfully we won't be seeing that.
Well,
on the big
hey, like,
screen.
maybe they'll buy it, like they'll buy it back and they'll pay the money back to the government and they'll put it out one day as like a.
Oh gosh.
Maybe if Zaslav gets them back in the black somehow and they're like good on money, and then he's like, you know what, as a joke next year for April Fools, we'll release this movie.
Then you're just insulting everybody on it.
It'd be interesting.
I did wonder, like, did Leslie Grace complain about the shelving of Batgirl on the grounds of identity politics? I don't remember her doing that. So
No.
props to her for that.
Creative Juice says, look at modern Sports Illustrated issues, the destruction of Playboy magazine, sexy women are out, normal looking 4s and 5s are in.
And
I think,
Elon Musk, old mother.
and I think a lot of that
That is
has
crazy.
to do with
Yeah.
the increasingly narcissistic culture that you have to see yourself in everything. We no longer aspire to be more. We have to see exactly what we are. So it's not like you can, like, guys look at Superman and say, gotta go hit the gym, want to get a cape. Like, girls see hot woman and they say, unrealistic beauty standards. Where are her organs? Things like that.
Only a very deranged subset of extremely online feminists.
Those
will
have
be
the
saying
power right
that.
now. They have the power right now.
Yeah, but I think everybody wants to see aspirational figures on screen.
You would think that they would want to. Like I don't go to movies to see reality. I want to see.
Like, I recently saw this graph that I don't know is real or not, but it basically says that no matter where people objectively rate you on an attractiveness scale, people view themselves on the same baseline of self-esteem, of their own, like, self-reported attractiveness.
In what way?
No matter where they're rated on an objective scale by other people. So really, self-esteem
So
is...
women have really high self-esteem these days, and that's why they think that all guys
Well,
are...
it's men and women
yeah.
rate themselves highly on an average baseline. So self-esteem is kind of irrelevant if everybody exists on the same, like, baseline of what they believe themselves to be.
Yeah.
Unless you go out of your way to raise your self-esteem, that would put you a leg up on everybody else.
Yeah.
But
Interesting.
It ultimately doesn't matter.
Like, it's like when I never thought of it that way. Like, I feel like I just I objectively look at everyone as like, maybe everyone thinks they're objective in there, but it's also so, like, personal. Like everyone's judgments of what other people look like are so steeped in their own opinions about what attractive is. That like me and Dane arguing
being
about
attractive
Brie
as a
Larson.
man is having Bugattis.
Yeah, I
Bugatti.
still don't get the Brie Larson.
I mean, I joke. That's become more of a meme
Yeah.
now, where it's like I'm not saying she's ugly,
gorgeous.
but I do laugh at that picture of like her with like the flat ass. They had to have like have like an ass stand in for her.
The one that annoys me the most is AOC. Because she's super pretty. And I get that she's annoying if you're a certain kind
Chat
of...
sound off on that.
I don't care. I don't care. But and people lose their minds over it. And then Alex Stein is like, oh, Juicy Latina. And everyone's like, oh, yeah, she's so hot. Like, you guys just want to follow your band of cool
energy.
people.
Well, I think part of it's also
But
like,
also, like,
if you
attractive.
don't like
Just-
her and you
it's
follow
okay.
and you follow news that doesn't like her, you're gonna get the worst pictures of her making faces mid sentence and like people
Yeah.
post the memes where she's like, yes, like
I think that objectively attractive women just don't often do themselves favors, especially if they're Hollywood people, because you know the most annoying thing they've said at the click of a button. You know?
Yeah.
Like, it's
it doesn't
nicer
help
to just
you.
never know.
Maybe just because I'm
context.
from Puerto Rico, where there's a lot of beautiful women and there's a lot of mean people too, that I'm just, these things happen. Sometimes pretty people are mean.
That's true. But
You know?
also,
Who cares?
you're hardwired to assume the best of more attractive people.
that's
Really?
crazy. Yeah, you're attractive people are more inherently trusting, or are more
So-
trustworthy, are considered more trustworthy.
If you don't assume those things about attractive people, then you're not the norm.
Maybe.
Yeah. Let's go to super
Well,
chats,
that's
guys.
why car salesmen are usually, they hire good. Look at her. She's a beautiful woman.
Yeah, they're just not really doing her favors.
They don't do her any justice. Like that, like
How old is she? You said she's like a Gen
it's-
Z.
No, I think she's millennial.
No? Okay.
She was born. They don't list her date of birth here.
Okay.
Ooh. Oh, here. 95.
Oh, okay.
So, all right.
We got some super chats. Waffles Sensei said, Brett, I'm sorry, bro. I have no memory of that night. And I've quit alcohol because of it. Love you, dog. Hope I didn't cause you any trouble, bro.
No. She Taylor thought you were a riot.
Yeah. She was like, this guy is so funny. It must be Brett.
Which is oddly, I was like, that's a compliment to me, but also not very in line with reality. I'm not a very funny person, but
You were so bewildered by that, though. I loved seeing your
She was like, but he was funny. I'm like, what does that have to do with me? I'm not funny. Not online, not really. Like, I post memes of...
You're pretty funny.
But I post memes of other people. I don't say funny things.
Right.
I repost stuff that's funny. Like I said,
You
very,
know content when you see it.
very, very few people are actually funny.
I agree.
Most people should shoot for generally amusing. And that's not a dig on anyone. They're saying it's
not.
you're in a class with like 30 or 40 people. There's like maybe 1 or 2 people in that classroom that are genuinely funny people. Other people just understand funny when they hear it, which is also a skill.
Most people aren't funny because it requires intellect. And most people are not that smart.
Slavky Nikki said, Tim Burton did nothing wrong. #Batnips.
Yeah, well, was Batnips Tim Burton or was Batnips?
I mean, it was the
Joel
costume
Schumacher?
designer.
I think
But
Joel
Tim
Schumacher
Burton
did that
ultimately,
movie.
I'm sure, had to okay that.
I thought Joel
decision.
Schumacher did that one though. I thought Joel Schumacher did the one with Batnips.
Let's
This is a quick Google that I'm not
see
going
a
to
fact
do.
check in the chat. If only Jamie could pull that up. BMF Nate Dogg said, Dane, a suitcase of Natty will mess you up.
What does that mean?
Natty.
know.
I'm assuming he means Natty Ice. If he's talking about beer. If he's talking about Natty as in like Natty,
A beautiful thing locked in a suitcase?
like natural, like not on steroids.
I don't
I have
know.
no idea. We lost where we started there. So
Not Alan Rogers said there was no difference between Fat Thor and the rest of Thor in the MCU. He was always a deconstructed character used for comedic relief.
yeah, but was he good looking? That's what matters. But they're right. Yeah, like I'm over the age of deconstructing characters.
Bobcat said the worst thing is taking a 9 and designing a costume to make her look like a 5.
Yeah, stop doing
I mean,
that.
I wouldn't say 5, but they just didn't accentuate her features.
It's meant to fight crime.
I don't want to just fight crime. I want you to fight crime while looking hot.
Okay, well,
yeah,
fair.
that's valid. I think
That-
that's a
that's-
valid
Wonder
stance.
Woman looks hot when she's fighting crime.
She really does.
Okay, if
It's
Ga-
possible.
if
It's entirely possible.
Gal Gadot can look stunningly gorgeous while beating up bad guys, then so can Leslie Grace.
I think the new show that I want on the network is Brett Dasovic Says Names with enthusiasm. Like, I would just watch that. Gal Gadot.
Like if we can let Gal Gadot look sexy while dressed as Wonder Woman, and to be fair, they toned it down
she's super hot.
in Justice League. Like, there's like they did a big thing. They're like that. They toned down the upskirt shots where like she's sweeping the leg.
What about in 1984?
It's way less. But the thing is, she's so gorgeous in the costume. Even that costume bad is better. Remember when you were watching the trailer for 1984? I'm like, wait till you get to the gold outfit.
like I'm gonna like a straight guy. Like I'm gonna be like, oh my gosh.
We are different people. We are different people.
I love your straight guy.
I might put that on a fashion blog. Whoa. BMF Nate Dogg said AOC has mule vibes.
Dude.
I'm not going to say the rest of
that.
If
AOC came to you and was like, "What's up, stud?" you would shit your pants.
What's up, stud?
You freaking loser. I hate when people do this about women. I'm sorry. I don't even know how you look like in person, but she is genuinely a 9. And I hate when guys who are like, you know what, but she's missing this and that. What are you missing?
Most of the time, it's like,
I hate that.
But would you actually say no in person?
You would go insane.
You're right. You're right about that. All
You're
right, guys.
irate right now.
I just hate when guys, and I'm not saying this is you, although I am assuming that it is. I just hate when guys, they excrement on beautiful women just to make themselves feel better. But it's like, dude, this chick is a 9, and you are just nitpicking at something. Like,
well, we're getting to the number ratings. I don't know if I buy that.
9, I mean, she's attractive. Whatever.
All right, we're moving on. So we got some announcements here, guys. This is a maybe sort of important to you if you care about the Wednesday series. If you guys have loved the Wednesday series,
a lot of people did.
It is still unbelievably culturally relevant because the only 2 things I see on Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts are Andrew Tate, Pearly, the 3 things, and then Wednesday Addams dance remixes are the things that I keep saying. So Netflix might be losing the Wednesday series because the purchase just went through. Basically, Amazon and Amazon Prime just purchased MGM, which is why they have all the pertinent ownership of the James Bond franchise now. But Wednesday is owned, the Addams family is an MGM property, so it's very possible that season 2 might go over to Amazon. I'm guessing they'll license it out to Netflix.
If they did, though, would that mean the whole crew involved in writing and producing it would change as well? Because that would completely uproot it and make it an entirely different show.
Always very hard when you change.
It's just like taking Daredevil from Netflix to Disney Plus. Like, that's not the same show. They're rebooting it completely. So I hope that it stays on Netflix for that reason.
Absolutely.
I really like the viral and meme potential that Wednesday has as a series.
It's one of those things, this is what I was talking about with somebody off air, that when we talk about diversity and inclusion and men versus women, this is proof that it can be done well.
Yeah.
And then notice how nobody's talking about it, and the show isn't living and dying on the fact that Jenna Ortega is a POC,
even though she's been asked about it.
Yeah, she's a woman. She is a POC. She is all of the check boxes, but she doesn't need to be one of those things only. She's all that and more because the series lives and dies on its quality and the fact that it's resonated and found an audience. It's just a cope when it doesn't work for other people, which should make her feel a bit more
they have
special.
that identity stuff on standby in case they need to do damage control. I had my worries about Wednesday just because they kept giving her those leading questions, like, how does it feel to be the first Latina on screen and insert arbitrary milestone? And then she has to do the obligatory answer that's like, it feels great to be representation for kids who were like me. And when I was growing up, I didn't see anyone who looked like me in a lead role on
would be
any shows.
Unbelievably based for somebody to just be like, I don't really care.
It feels like nothing. Yeah. Thanks for asking.
Yeah. Like it would be.
I would love that.
It would be unbelievably based to just be like, well, look, I want to be rated on the content of my acting and my ability and what this show does. I don't really want it to be rated based on checkboxes. But she can't do that. She's literally. I guarantee you, she's like they've given her like an answer. This is your answer. You will repeat this answer. Mm-hmm. Like they wouldn't all use the exact same words if they like
they ask you a question like that and have a figurative gun behind the camera that you have to answer.
Oh yeah.
Now say the thing.
That was the
say the thing we like you to say.
Who was the one that I said the other day where I was like he had a rainbow colored gun to the back of his head. I don't remember what it was like you can tell when they're giving you the only answer you're allowed to have because give this answer or you're a bigot is a real thing in Hollywood. Granted, she might get a little bit more leeway because she's young and a pretty girl and she's a POC, so she might get, but even then they're like, she's courting a right-wing audience by talking about meritocracy.
How dare she?
Yeah, so...
And then there were also a lot of fans of the show complaining about queer baiting, which is like anything they'll say when they don't get the simple and satisfying conclusion out of a show that they want.
Yep. And
that happens with straight couples that people ship all the time.
And we never even got into
story writing.
There was a whole thing about Jenna Ortega and like jailbait and people talking about whether she was because she's 16 in the show but she's 20 in real life. And there was people
that happens all the time.
And there were people arguing on Twitter about whether it was appropriate to find her attractive. That was the whole thing.
That's insane. Adults play teenagers all the time, including in Euphoria,
well,
which is much more like raunchy and graphic than anything on
Wednesday.
That
show's softcore.
Like, she literally, but she actually looks young. Like she looks young,
which means
me.
that she's more suited to play someone younger than herself.
It's always funny when you watch those things from the 80s and all the guys in like playing teenagers all have like mustaches and full
like
beards
a solo stash.
They even do that in
muscles because they had nutrients in their food.
It's
time for biology class.
Right.
It's
that's been the norm in Hollywood for all time.
Leon Kingsley in the chat says, long time since I saw a good new movie. What was your favorite movie of the movies we saw last year, Mary?
Of the ones we reviewed?
Father Stew?
Father Stew was up there. I think I remember really liking Sonic, which is random. I didn't expect that.
Sonic was great. Top Gun Maverick was great.
Top Gun Maverick was definitely, might be number one, but I'm not sure. What about you?
I'd say, the easy answer is Top Gun Maverick, but like, I love Sonic. I really enjoyed Sonic.
I don't know why I even liked it so much. It was just like a
Sonic,
like
normal kids, movie, but it was surprisingly apolitical.
Bullet Train?
Bullet Train was great, but we didn't review that. I went and saw it,
I saw it
on
later.
my own time, and I'm really glad that I did because it was nice to see that in theaters.
There was an article, or not an article. They were covering something on Midnight's Edge recently that I think is a very valid thing that we've been talking about. It's like, is it to a point now that we're so defensive that we see wokeness everywhere where there is none?
I try not to do
It's everywhere. We're not seeing it. It really is everywhere.
But you don't need to hyper-fixate on it to the point where it takes away your ability to like things.
No, I agree. But and I still watch these gaming streams where they talk about it nonstop because of the gaming content, but it is everywhere.
I don't know. It's like a case-by-case basis. I hated Prey. Everyone else loved Prey.
It wasn't even bad just for wokeness reasons, but as a movie, the plot line was extremely lazy. The character was lazily
She was
written.
so unlikable.
She was unlikable and also just not like she was hard to believe even in her own historical context.
Yeah, she like sucked.
It was a badly done movie in general, not just for woke stuff.
I've kind of stressed endlessly that like a likable character is a huge part of it for me. Like if I can't, like if the character's not likable, it has to be unlikable in a way that makes sense for the story.
Relatable.
Walter White.
Yes, like has to be unlikable for a reason that makes sense.
Understandable.
It didn't make sense in that movie.
Yeah.
Like to me.
I want to know, do you think that it's a white pill or a black pill that Gen Z rates The Rock as their most liked celebrity?
Do you know why this is, right? It's because he's
have no
literally
idea.
the safest celebrity in the history of celebrities. He's just like tepid. He checks all the boxes. He answers every question perfectly. It sounds like everything was written by some type of publicist.
I was so mind blown when I saw this.
Even this tweet where he says, "Thank you, Gen Z, for choosing this Gen X big brown bald tattooed fanny pack man as your number one. I'll continue to work hard to provide entertainment and comfort for all of you, as well as good tequila." Here's where it gets funny. As long as you're over 21, because The Rock would never want to promote underage drinking, because that would go against his image as the guy who used to find various new ways to call Stephanie McMahon a slut every week on WWE. And now he's like, but don't drink unless you're of age, guys.
I guess this survey was finding the top 10 most popular actors and content creators according to Gen Z, which is between 13 and 25.
This is so odd.
And they rated 35 actors and 35 internet influencers, and Dwayne Johnson was on the top from actors.
I'm astounded someone like Mr. Beast didn't win.
I'm not looking at the internet influencer part of it, but let me look it up.
It's also really interesting because Robert Downey Jr. is on there, and he's literally done nothing of consequence.
Emma Watson.
He's done nothing of consequence since Avengers because none of his other movies really do well.
Are Gen Z people just not really plugged in with the times?
Maybe.
Well, no, does
Tom
this not
Holland
mean,
is likable.
You told me that Gen Z doesn't like superhero movies, but I see Robert Downey Jr. on here. I see Tom Holland on here. They're famous for superhero roles.
Now Dwayne Johnson.
There are definitely like Gen Z people who like superhero movies. It's just that sometimes the attempts at marketing them to Gen Z are massive failures.
Hey guys,
because they shouldn't be marketed to one generation. They should be timeless endeavors, stories of good and evil.
Everything should be tailored for me.
Exactly.
The title of this survey just says Gen Z is extremely online.
No way, no kidding.
I couldn't have known.
And do you know who the most disliked person?
Who?
Amber Heard.
Nice.
Really?
Because they're on TikTok where she was getting flamed every day.
So everyone is mad because she lists higher than Kanye West and Kim Kardashian in celebrities you're sick of in 2022. Well, that's because they just don't want her on their bed. Anywhere but their bed.
I'm going to look up this.
Who's the top 5 of people that are disliked?
It was these two.
Kim Kardashian's in it, and I think Jared Leto and Shia LaBeouf are also up there.
Why do you think they don't like Shia
Ye
LaBeouf?
was in it.
How do you not like Shia LaBeouf other than the FKA Twig stuff?
JFK?
I said FKA. I started with J and then I corrected myself.
Oh, okay. I was like, what?
FKA Twigs.
JFK.
Also, it like
the president.
took me a crazy long time to realize that means formerly known as.
Dude, JFK Twigs. Somebody needs to make that name right now.
FKA Twigs, formerly known as. Like, I had no idea.
I just learned that. Thank you.
Meghan Markle is in it.
Of course. Well, she's like imagine being like, she's got another documentary coming out. Imagine having more to complain about.
Chrissy Teigen. Yeah, agree.
Okay, Chrissy Teigen is on the list of people that a lot of people make fun of that I find weirdly attractive.
Ilaria Baldwin, Alec Baldwin's extremely loyal wife. Of course, she's Spanish native.
She doesn't go to the gun range with him.
Ellen DeGeneres is on it. Completely justified ranking because she is the definition of a celebrity who frames herself as all smiles, but is actually an asshole behind the scenes. James Corden, same way. He was in his own hot water scandal for like yelling at waiters. And just generally being an elite piece of garbage.
When you told me that airplane story, I was shocked.
He was, so like, here's the story for those of you who have not heard it. James Corden was sitting on his own in first class on a plane, and his wife was sitting in business class with their baby, with their crying baby. And she gets upset. A stewardess brings her to the first class to sit next to James Corden. Everyone who's watching this happening has no idea that they're married or that they know each other. So he just turns away and starts sleeping. It's like turns away from his wife and ignores her. And people are like, oh, what a cordial, nice guy. He's not making her feel bad for having a crying baby in first class. All the while, they had no idea that this is his wife. And when the flight lands, he doesn't even help her get their luggage out of the overhead bin.
Yeah.
Like, she's holding the baby and trying to get their luggage out of the overhead bin.
This woman's just a vehicle
Absolute
for
douchebag in his personal life.
He's just a vehicle for his progeny.
They're like in the chat. They say Brett just lost all credibility because I said I found Chrissy Teigen attractive. Extremely fake, but I found her attractive.
Maybe extremely fake is what you like.
Yeah,
and that's okay. So Amber Heard got number 4. Oprah got 3rd.
Oprah?
Yeah, that's. I think maybe because of her involvement with Harry and Meghan and. That she is
most hated,
an extreme COVID.
That's wild.
Remember, she didn't
fearmonger.
Was she the one who didn't leave the house for 3 years or for 2 years?
No, that's Howard Stern.
Howard Stern. But there was also
she was like locked away.
Yeah, there was also she posted. Somebody posted earlier today. Like she posted like she went on a 10-mile walk out of appreciation for carbs. She's like, I love bread, so she went on a 10-mile hike. Like, I will not say no to carbs.
So Meghan Markle was at the top, followed only by her husband.
Dude,
poor guy.
It's really funny too because
we've all had that friend that just gets absolutely whipped, and you're like, "Hey man, you want to get a beer?" He's like, "No,
I can't. I have to ask permission before I go out."
My girlfriend says I can't. It's like, oh man, okay.
Also, the funny thing about Chrissy Teigen is she looks like she absolutely like yells at John Legend, and he likes it.
Yeah.
Like she yells at him and he's like, yell at me more.
Yeah, I kind of got those vibes from Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, but like that's kind of, risque thing to say.
Oh my God! Somebody put stung by a bee and then posted an emoji that actually kind of looks like the face she makes. When
thing that people hate about Amber Heard is that she's not even good at lying.
You know what?
Like, she's not even a good enough actress to make people believe what she's saying.
I'm just gonna say it. I like Gen Z. I like these kids.
You do?
I
like the cut of their jib.
I don't know why.
You like the cut of their jib. Yeah.
I don't know why. I just feel like their heads
You're hip to
in
young
reality.
Really?
I like it. I don't know. Because when I heard Oprah, I was shocked because like how the hell do they know anything about Oprah? Well, and then with your explanation, it's like, oh, they just don't like her vibe. It's like, that's cool.
I think that the most annoying celebrity rankings were everybody, but The Rock being rated the highest.
That's so
Gen
weird.
Z.
Well, it's like, what has he even done recently? Like, other than like Jungle Cruise and Black Adam, were those like the most recent ones he did? Hobbs and Shaw. I actually like Hobbs and Shaw.
I don't have no idea.
But that was in 2019.
But I have no idea why Emma Watson is on there.
Because she's hot.
What is she even relevant with anymore? Other than probably
Gen Z is like anti-hotness, though.
That is fair. And well, hasn't she kind of? Yeah, they are.
What does that mean?
Because
what does that mean?
They want to have no standards. They don't want to have standards because they don't want to be held to standards.
I don't believe that. Anti-hot.
In the chat, somebody pointed out. They said, "Yeah, didn't Chrissy Teigen tell some girl to something herself online?"
She did.
Right, and then also she said that the removal of her ectopic pregnancy was the same thing as an abortion.
Yep.
Which is obviously medical misinformation.
Yep. I mean, hey, look,
whenever people have been banned on social media for posting.
When we judge or make a comment about someone's attractiveness, that's not an endorsement of who they are as a person or like.
You made that comment. I don't.
Like,
I think Chrissy Teigen.
I'm saying of any of them. I don't like Brie Larson either, but Dane loves the way Brie Larson looks,
and that's okay.
I think
she's
a horrible,
gorgeous girl.
Like, I wonder when she's
3
gonna
in
get in
5
trouble.
Gen Z have not watched a sporting event on TV in years. A major reason being that they just aren't interested in sports. 20% said that the games are too long.
Look, I actually, one thing that's funny is like I've noticed that in this space, whether it's working here or people in digital spaces, they always make fun of people who like sports.
This
and I think
one's
that's
great.
stupid.
They rated Mr. Beast higher than Tom Hanks.
Well, that's good.
Love that for them.
He should be rated higher than Tom Hanks.
Of course.
I also saw a great chat earlier that says when you asked like who we should get on the show, so he said Colin Hanks.
Can you bring your brother on?
Like, get Chet to come with Colin.
I mean, I would just talk to them
wow.
about...
Mr. Beast was higher in favorability than Tom Hanks, Tom Cruise, and Leonardo DiCaprio.
I mean, because they don't know these people.
Yeah.
And there's like, hey, stab your dad 15 times to win $1 million. Haha, you only stabbed him 14.
They like PewDiePie more than Elizabeth Olsen, Matt Damon, and Bradley Cooper.
PewDiePie rules.
Not Alan Rogers. I'm with him right here. He says, haha, sports ball. Get it? Sports ball, guys. It's funny because
this
sports
one's crazy.
Bad.
2 in 5 Gen Z say they've never heard of Daniel Radcliffe.
Wow.
They're lying.
Do you think so?
I don't think so.
I don't know.
Dude, there's nothing worse than the people who are like, I've never heard of this person before today.
Oh,
like,
I'm that guy.
well, you don't do it in that voice, so I guess you get a pass.
Thanks, man.
This is hilarious.
But I'm
2/3 of Gen Z say they'd be interested in seeing a 4D movie in their local theater if it was offered. I have no idea what that means.
I feel about Gen Z how
like
you feel
Mr.
about
Beast.
Gen X. Except I don't know. I think they're gonna prove themselves. They've just had it rough.
What?
Yeah, dude. They were born after 9/11, then the
so
war in
sick.
Iraq.
Did you see that
And then
thing?
the 2008 collapse. And then they
They were 8 when the 2008 collapse.
That's traumatizing your child. And then it's time for college. Oops, time to mask up, loser. And they've had it super rough.
Did you see that thing that's like the meme? That's
I
like,
saw the 90s.
It's like I lost.
I got jiggy with
I
it.
lost the senior year of high school to COVID, and
That
now I'm gonna
sucks.
lose my entire adult life to climate change.
Oh, that's lame. But
Yeah. But they did lose a lot to COVID.
they
Like,
did.
that's a legitimate gripe.
That's
for sure.
dude. They
I
didn't go
wasn't
to prom.
I wasn't really talking about the first part. I was talking about the second part.
Yeah.
First and second year of college rule. Lots of parties.
I don't know. I get, but the thing is I don't give any generation any special weight. I think all of them.
You
are
know,
whiners.
yeah, you do.
I-
You simp for Gen X.
I think they're all whiners except for Gen.
Yeah, you simp for Gen X. I'm just saying Gen Z's
but
better.
even Gen X kind of brags about not being whiners, which might be kind of worse.
Hey, Gen Z, I think you're cool.
I have no.
For the record.
They also say they want to see social media influencers included in the media they consume.
Absolutely.
Like, they want to see Bella Poarch in a in a blockbuster movie.
See, I also don't
or
like
Charlie D'Amelio.
Yeah, there was a thing I was watching earlier. They were talking about like Charlie D'Amelio was at the NBA All-Star game and was more popular than any of the players,
Of course.
or any of the other celebrities that were there.
So let me see this. They rated Mr. Beast dramatically highest as most favorable
Because he gives
content
money away.
creator.
Of course,
money.
Gen Z loves a guy who gives away free
But
money.
He gives money away to humiliate people.
Aiden Ross is on here. PewDiePie was third. Zach King was second. I've not heard
No
of that
idea.
one. I'm not in touch with the times.
What does Aiden Ross do?
KSI was fourth. Emma Chamberlain.
What does Aiden Ross do?
Aiden Ross is a streamer. We've already talked about him
Where
having
he's
like
like
a
fascist?
dubious swatting happen to him.
Oh yeah, it was fake.
Yeah, seemed fake.
Straight
he
up
cou- and he
fake.
didn't know
Dr.
it-
Disrespect is on here.
That's sassy.
It is funny. Do you remember when Aiden Ross couldn't pronounce fascist?
I don't remember that.
He's like fascist.
Oh my gosh.
He didn't know what the word was.
Yikes.
But yeah, look, I don't like crapping on any one generation in particular. I also think that a lot of the things that I give Gen Z credit for, or I give Gen Z crap for from time to time, millennials definitely were just as bad at. It's just like it all starts somewhere, right? Mm-hmm. This is why I don't like rating people based on tribes or large groups. I would rather talk to an individual and judge, a person's behavior based on how that person acted, not necessarily how the generation they were a part of behaves. Because look, you're Gen Z. You're not. I would argue that you're very different from the average Gen Z person that I've met in the past.
I belong to the wrong generation.
That's also a dorky thing for people to say. That's usually more pertains to music, though. That's people who are like, oh my god, I like the Beatles. I'm like totally born in the wrong generation. Like,
Yeah.
It's like just people, they just like kind of good music. So they're like, oh my god, I was born in the wrong generation.
Like, if you go on any YouTube video of like Jimi Hendrix, for instance.
I was born in the It's like, no, you just
I
like
love
good
this
music.
I was born in the wrong generation. Like, you can listen to any music you want right now. This is the time when it's easiest to listen to any music you please.
I also one of my favorite things is to go onto comments where somebody has to make a comment on like a live performance where they say, "Oh my god, it sounds like normally no artist sounds as good as the recording."
Frick auto-tune, man.
And then I like judge the person for making such a basic comment in my head. I know. It's kind of
just don't look at the comments,
It's horrible.
Okay, let's go to Super Chats.
All right, let's do it.
BMF Nate Dogg, I'm sorry, I just don't want to say vulgar things even if it adds context to your Super Chat. Sorry. Aya Horace said, y'all are here discussing your opinions on how women look. How are you going to get mad when someone has a different opinion about how women look?
But I'm literally like flaming this guy in chat because he's a remedial as hell.
You are?
The thing is,
wow.
Here's you. This is Aya Horace. Wait, let me be more accurate. And this is the point.
Whoosh.
Over your head.
I've not kept up with the drama that's going on in chat right now.
If it makes you feel better, we can judge how guys look. You guys want to judge how guys look?
Yeah, let's judge guys.
We can judge some dudes. Okay, let's pick a dude.
Give me a dude.
Who is a dude you want us to judge?
You're more objective, yeah.
Like who's like?
Just give me a dude.
I have no problem admitting a dude is a handsome dude. It's not a problem.
Mary, throw a dude at me.
Throw a dude at you. Chris Evans. I don't know.
Chris Evans.
Better with facial hair.
Was Chris Evans rated sexiest man of the year?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that Captain America?
That's Captain America.
Thoughts?
No, that's not Justified. I don't think he's the best.
Better with facial hair. Better with a beard.
Yeah.
Depends on what you like.
Next, anybody in the chat? If we're gonna be equitable in our judgment of
Channing Tatum in Magic Mike's Last Dance next
year. Oh, that was a movie I saw this year that was pretty good.
I've never seen that.
Dog with Channing Tatum was pretty good.
Objectify Waffle Sensei. I like this.
Objectify anonymous people who haven't shown what they look like.
I've seen Waffle Sensei how he looks.
Oh, okay.
Good looking stud.
I have not.
John Hamm. Somebody says.
Oh, he's really good looking.
The name's Ham. John Hamm. The last of my kind said JDF still hurts. His
Jason David Frank
Belt daughter expressed interest in carrying on the Green Ranger character in the new Power Rangers reboot. Frank. And he also said
rest in power.
Her name's Jenna. And then he said rest in power.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Like that's one of those things where then some like uncultured and tactless person will say, "Let's talk about nepo babies right now," when it's like the least good time to do it. Mm-hmm. Like, ugh.
Johnny Beck sent us a thumbs up.
Thank you, Johnny Beck.
Thank you. John S. said Zennials are up.
What's
the Zillennials, which are cusp between.
I mean, they just got a Dame Fun bump. You know?
Austin Butler, good looking or not?
Who's Austin Butler?
He's Elvis from the Elvis movie.
I mean, are you asking me or Dane?
Both of you.
I would say no. I think he's
actually. This is what we should be. We should be talking about this with Mary because Mary is a much more.
Because women care about context, men don't.
That's true.
That's the thing. Like
context.
When I know that.
Ryan Reynolds. I know the answer to this one.
No.
Oh.
When I know that these
dudes
say annoying things, it means that they're unattractive, which means that basically all of Hollywood is implicated.
Well, Dane is saying the same thing happens with Brie Larson. He's saying that men say she's not attractive.
They say that, but do they mean it? That's probably a lot less.
Just separate the artist from the art. Just separate
the art from the hot person.
Seriously, it's like
separate.
Yeah.
You've never met a mean hot girl, really? You know, like who are these people?
I have met many a mean hot girl.
Yeah.
In fact, it gives them it gives them their attitude, I'm sure.
Not always. But we're up on Super Chats.
All right. It's Tom Holland. Somebody asked Tom Holland. No?
That's an obvious no for me.
We need to play a game like Hot or Not with Mary.
If you're like 15 or 16-year-old girl, you probably think Tom Holland is cute.
Aren't you?
No.
Well.
But despite popular belief, I am an adult.
Henry Cavill?
I would say no.
Wow.
Like, is there any... Okay, can you give me an example of who?
Humanity.
I mean, just not celebrities. Like, I just don't...
Okay, well...
I don't like celebrities. I think they're gross.
Well,
that's fair.
Okay, fair
Isn't that fair?
Yeah, but Henry Cavill's not your typical celebrity.
Why?
Because he's...
Because he's cool, man.
I mean, yeah, people
I
say
would
that,
argue
but I have literally no idea what this person is
putting
like.
boundaries in place with Millie Bobby Brown, seemingly not being anti-fan. I think that's
I will never pretend that I know who celebrities really are.
In that case, we would never talk about it because we have to always speculate because we're not going to actually.
Yeah,
know.
I'm fine with doing that. It's just like I'm not
not
about like idolizing people.
Not Helen Rohr says. Matt Damon says average man has a shot. So is that true? Like you just got to be an average. You can just be a good person.
You know what? Meet someone at the grocery store. Meet someone at church.
Yeah.
I've never gotten that. Meet someone at church.
Why not?
That feels like the worst.
No. I'm just joking. Like, don't just come up to somebody at church and be like, "Hi."
The truth comes out.
But yeah, like people need to start like meeting in person and not, fawning over celebrities on social media and. Just becoming extremely online. It's not good for your brain.
All right. Now that we know that there are no hot men, according to Mary, and lots of hot women, according to Dane. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, bud.
No, it's just everyone.
Only Brett comes out with the W.
They're like debating a ghost. It's like, well, Dane thinks that
Saying,
Stalin. No, Have
you been responding in the chat?
No, I let go. At the end of the day, it was like, oh, right, random person on the internet. Who cares?
I have a hard time with that. You got to learn to let go. Dane, let everyone know where they can find you now that you've let go.
If you losers want to keep this flame war with me, follow me on Twitter at Dane Font. And now I shall spell that out for you. DANEFONT.
Excellent, my friend. Excellent. Mary,
thanks for that.
If they want to give you more men to rate, where can they find you?
Sure. Awesome. Rating men on Twitter at Mary Archived. And you can find pictures of me on Instagram, which is also Mary Archived. And I'm on Parler if you care.
You also got one more super chat there.
Waffle Sensei said, how is Mary gonna meet someone at the grocery store? Once they see what you do to the carts in the parking lot, you're gonna lose any chance you had. So true. I'm just an incel walking because of my cart pushing habits.
I'm afraid you're wrong there, guys. Dudes don't. A dude will forgive a lot for a pretty girl. I don't think the guy cares one way or another whether she puts the cart back or not. That's just my.
You're a bad person. I don't care.
Like I'm sure
literally it.
They're like I bet she's got more redeeming qualities that will cancel this out. I'm gonna meet.
You would hope. And then you find the depressing reality. No, I'm kidding.
All right, guys. If you want to follow me, you can follow me on Instagram at Brett Dasovic. That's BRETTDASOVIC.
It'd be really embarrassing if you misspelled your own at.
If you want to follow the show, though, we are here Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's noon Pacific. We are also on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, and Spotify if you prefer to listen to the show. If you'd like to follow us on social media, we are on Twitter at popculture_show. Excuse me.
You well?
I'm okay.
Okay.
Facebook and TikTok at Pop Culture Crisis, and on Instagram at Pop Culture Crisis Pod. We'll be back with another episode tomorrow. We'll see you then, guys. Later.
Bye.